Hey friends, this is Critical Mess. Episode 47. Is it right? 47, right guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of episodes. It's the podcast where three broskies talk about movies that critics and audiences don't agree on, like tonight's film, Home Alone 2. I'm Nick Honeywell. I'm here with Grizz Griswold. I'm here with Brian MC Cullah. I'm here with producer Ben. Say hello, broskies.
What's up, gang?
Hey, Brian McCullister here. Merry holiday, everybody.
And a jolly merry day to you too, sir.
Nothing about that hit my ear right.
Trying to get festive here. We're going to break the ice with a festive question. Here it comes. What's the best Christmas movie, guys? But the best Christmas movie after the year 2000. I'll start.
You're struggling on it?
I'll start. Yeah, it sucks. It's a hard one.
Let's hear it, buddy.
And my answer is not a good movie. But it's a movie that I really enjoy, and it's a Christmas movie, and I think it gets lost and forgotten a little bit. And that movie is Just Friends, with Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart. Who else is in that? Anna Faris. It's just one that people forget about, and it has Ryan Reynolds in a fat suit. I don't think that guy could get fat if he tried. Right?
No.
No chance.
Nope.
No chance. The universe wouldn't allow it.
No.
But anyways, Just Friends, fun movie, fun rom-com, Christmas movie. That's what I got.
Great answer. This is right close to 2000, but I'm going with Elf, 2003.
Elf.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you said Alf.
Alf. Yeah,
That'd be
Alf,
two
the Christmas
podcasts in a
movie.
row that Alf came up. And I feel like that's a hot streak.
No,
we want to keep bringing up Alf.
going on?
Who doesn't
Going
like
Elf.
Alf?
You said Tony Danza as an alien, I think is what you quoted.
Yes, that sounds right.
Pretty good. What you got, Brian?
I didn't know Just Friends would count, but I'm going to have to say that one because
Oh.
I don't like Elf. I don't like Polar Express. I don't like Four Christmases. I don't like Love Actually. I don't like The Grinch. I don't like any of them. They're all stupid. Just Friends.
Bonus icebreaker. Favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, Home Alone.
Yep. Chris, this is taking way too long.
Yeah, we're dead air.
You should have yours on.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I got
that's
crickets
tough,
around here
guys.
somewhere.
Get the crickets going.
I'm gonna go Die Hard just for your
Just so I can't say
Yeah,
it.
just
Fine.
so you can't
It's a
say
Wonderful
it.
Life.
You try.
There you go.
Done.
That's a great one. By the way, Home Alone's in my top 100. So of not just Christmas movies,
All
but
time.
all movies.
all time.
Actually, I have Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life in my top 10. Two Christmas movies in my top 10.
Yeah.
I don't even like Christmas. I don't
Those
know
are
what
those are
but
both
I love those movies.
like perfect movies.
Yeah, they
like
really
they're
are.
so good.
All right, Grizz has a special announcement.
I do.
criticalmasspodcast.com. Check us out. You can find all of our recent Spotify and Apple podcast episodes as well as our latest YouTube video embed. There's some links on there that don't go anywhere, and there's some ad copy that we need Nick to write, but there's a placeholder right now. It's kind of funny a little bit, but whatever. You can listen and watch.
We're working on it, and we'll get it back to you. All right.
I love that you keep pointing to the camera.
To our listener, to our viewer. All right. Time for the feedback corner. I hear we actually have a smidge of feedback tonight.
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I had a couple of pieces of feedback. So first of all, shout out to my boy Rick Hall. This cat's listened to every single episode we've ever put out.
Wow. Appreciate
God
it.
bless them. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, thank
Somebody's
you.
got to do it. Actually, I know like 3 or 4 people who that's the case. Just absolute mad lads. Thank you guys.
I know a couple.
We don't deserve it. We literally.
No, we don't.
I'm kind of joking, but I'm not. Also, his wife. She had some really good. So he was listening to or watching it on YouTube, and she heard from the other room, and she has trouble hearing YouTube. That's her beef with YouTube. She typically has trouble hearing what people are saying, and she couldn't believe how perfect we sounded. Wow. So shout out to producer Ben. I know you put a lot of work into these mics and getting new XLR cables, yada yada. I don't know all the magic, but whatever it is, it sounds awesome, and it sounds better than all the other YouTube videos that are out there. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good feedback. And then a little bit of feedback that Rick had for me. He noticed that I talked a lot.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what's funny? I also got that feedback from someone.
And I will continue doing that.
And I didn't even want to say anything,
I'll give
Brian,
that feedback.
because we don't want to.
We don't want to stifle.
We don't want to crack your fragile ego.
Yeah.
But no. But the people like it though. That's the thing. Is they like your voice, your dulcet voice.
Dulcet. Yeah. It's quite dulcet.
Obviously, customary part of the feedback corner is Sock Game. Sponsored tonight, Home Field.
Whoop.
Home Field.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Benfield.
There we
And
go.
you know what we learned last time?
Homefieldapparel.com.
Homefieldapparel.com. But
Field.
these socks are so sophisticated, they actually have a right and a left. And you can tell that I put them on correctly this time.
You did.
Because I've got the logo on the facing the outside. Because if it was facing the inside, you'd just look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
Anyway.
You know.
So the sock game, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So write to us. Let us know what we need to do next. We're going to spoil the movie we're talking about tonight. It came out like 30 years ago, so hopefully that's not a problem. And we also recommend you watch the movie as you listen to the podcast, maybe because we're watching the movie as we're talking about the movie. And tell us you watched it. Tell us in the comments. We want to know because there are comments on YouTube, and we hear that sometimes when you're lucky, people leave them.
We would appreciate that greatly.
We have all read 100% of the comments we've received on YouTube.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and chastise us. It's fine.
Say anything. Anything at all.
Okay. Tonight, we're talking about a film from the year of our Lord, 1992, and it is called Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Hiya, pal.
Deck the halls with Marv and Harry.
Yes.
Make their Christmas not so merry. Give them bricks and give them riches. One more Christmas in the trenches. Toss some paint cans down to greet them. Send the toolbox down to meet them. Serve the nails for Christmas dinner. Kevin is declared the winner.
May I do the thinking, please?
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
You weren't aftershave? That's kerosene. Now why would anybody soak a rope in kerosene?
Merry Christmas.
Okay, so let's talk about the numbers. Big hit here. Big shocker. First movie, big smash. This one, no difference. Budget, $28 million. Worldwide gross, $360. So plus the $4 I paid to watch last night. So yeah, this movie is
You're welcome, Macaulay Culkin.
it's still raking it in 2024. This movie directed by Christopher Columbus. Yes, that Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus.
I think it just goes by Chris, right?
He poisons native populations and directs films. So this Chris Columbus. He's done a fair number of things as a writer, director, and producer. Hasn't been super active the last 15, 20 years, but done a few things. A few things you may have heard of. This includes, and this is really what sets. This guy is actually kind of a fucking badass at the end of the day. He wrote Gremlins. He also wrote The Goonies. So damn. In terms of directing, he did Adventures in Babysitting. You guys remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Which, hey, by the way, does that star another person whose name matches somebody way famouser than him? Is Mike Myers in that?
Is that right?
No, that's Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter. No, that's So I Married an Axe Murderer. Never mind.
So I
Married
married
an
an
Axe
Never mind. Michael Myers, Mike Myers, Chris Columbus, Christopher Columbus. Never mind.
Well, he also did the first Home Alone.
Yes.
He did Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, did he?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's in my top 100.
Bicentennial Man. You guys remember that one? It's a
Robin Williams?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, Williams.
Barely.
More recently, he did Pixels. You guys remember see Pixels?
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why he hasn't been too prolific in the last 15 or 20. I think, did that not kill his career?
No, I have the reason. I have the reason. It's
Something
right
worse
here.
than Pixels?
No, but
Should we say it
it's
out
still
loud?
the reason he hasn't been doing
Okay.
much. He did the first 2 Harry Potter movies, which he also executive produced. So I'm sure he's just now sitting in a bathtub full of gold coins.
That's what it is.
Just chilling out.
Yeah,
He doesn't
okay.
need to do shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, this movie also written by John Hughes, the legend. The legend. So yeah. So you've got qualified people making this film. Who is in this film? Well, you've got the president-elect. One. We're just going to leave that there. You've also got Macaulay Culkin. You've got the great Joe Pesci, who I believe Gris said was the greatest character actor of all time, and I think that's a great answer.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy about that answer. Daniel Stern, the great Catherine O'Hara, John Hurd, Tim Curry, Rob Schneider. A lot of people you might know in this one. So, quick refresher about the criteria for the movies we talk about here. So, movies got to be fresh with audiences or rotten with critics, or vice versa on Rotten Tomatoes, and the disparity has got to be 20% or so. So, Ben, did you hear that? We're not doing Paul Blart 2 because that is rotten in both categories.
categories.
Even though it's
Categories.
20%, it's more than 20%, it's rotten.
Everyone agrees it
That
sucks.
means no
So
one
we're
liked
not
it.
going to do that film, Ben. Okay? So just
all I want is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
that's all he's been talking about really for the entire time we were setting up. So anyways, Home Alone 2, 35% with critics, 62% with audiences. So decent gap here. So let's get into it, boys. First exposure to this film, and how many times have we seen it over the years?
I've seen this movie countless times. I was a child of the 90s, so it's got to be 100 times. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh my gosh. More than
100
Home
times?
Alone, would you say?
I think I have seen this definitely more than Home Alone. Yes. It was just far more rambunctious and loud, and the jokes were bigger and whatever. So I think it was always on. So it's constantly. I feel like this one's replayed more than the first, at least in my experience, seeing it on cable and replay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't had cable for 98 years, but I believe you. With this one, I watched it. Obviously, I was a huge Home Alone fan when that came out, and so when Home Alone 2 came out, you better be sure I was in the theater to see that one. Watched it a lot of times since then, but I didn't revisit it until a couple years ago for my entire adulthood. And I was able to see it with fresh eyes, and it was I liken it to sort of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The original one of those, like Home Alone, is fabulous, right? But when I was a kid and I just got hyped up by bigger and better stuff, when the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, The Secret of the Ooze, I was all in. Super Shredder, all this, like, everything was just bigger and badder, And as a kid, I was like, yeah. And now as an adult, I'm like, that movie's trash. I'm not going to say Home Alone 2 is trash. I'm not going to reveal what I said about it, but it did give me vibes. Same era, almost the same year, I think, Ninja Turtles and Home Alone came out. And my kid self loved the sequels then, not so much now. And then watched it again 2 days ago.
Almost the exact same timeline. I think it's like 88, 89, and then 91.
Really close.
Yeah.
Me, the over-under is probably 3 times, I would say. I saw it in the theater, I'm sure. I probably watched it like one time, rented from Blockbuster, and last night. So, okay. This is Critical Mess. We're a podcast. We talk about movies. We have fun doing it. We do have kind of a sponsor. I mean, we have a real sponsor. Homefield is our sponsor. We love Homefield. Homefield, was it Homefield Apparel?
.com.
Homefield literally has populated our closets with free, high-quality clothing.
For months.
No joke, for months.
Yes.
Yeah, check out Homefield, everybody.
Homefield's
it's really
awesome.
high-quality shit. What else are we sponsored by? Old Elk. The
Old Elk?
Ambrosialist.
The Ambrosialist.
Right.
Thursdays at 8 on CBS.
Thank you. I love that joke, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. That's very funny.
No, that was a
No, I
sincere
know.
comment.
I love it.
That's
Can
right.
you write a spec script for the Ambrosialist?
I'm already working on it. I'm working on it right now
Thank
in my
you.
mind. All right. We're going to rate this film, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Who wants to go?
I'll let you guys go.
I'll go.
All right, go.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't write mine down.
Well, you better write it.
Write it down?
Write it
Get
down
the
now.
marker. Where's the marker?
All right. Well, Grizz is scrambling.
don't
Might
have
be
it.
might be under my book here. No.
In the book.
No, here it is. But it's behind Lindsay Lohan.
That's not Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, or Nasty Nate.
No. How did you get those confused?
I don't know. This is all okay. Here's my rating, everyone.
Grizz, make it big enough for us to see. Okay.
44.
44.
One better than Reagan.
One less.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. No, I wrote it the right way.
One less than Reagan. 44.
One less than Reagan.
One less than
less
Reagan.
than Reagan.
You like it one less than
I
Reagan.
like the relative, kind of rating there. Interesting.
Brian, every film we do from here on out will be
Compared to
weighed
Reagan.
against Reagan.
Okay, I like that.
Nice.
And I swear to hassle you to no end
Yes,
for some reason.
yes, please do. Guys, I had a little bit of fun with this movie. I had a little bit of nostalgia with this movie, but I didn't think it was a very good movie. Bleh.
You guys are sad. I can't go. I got to go with 68. I know that's
Wow.
real high for this
Ooh,
group
two
right now.
straight.
Can I see?
It's back-to-back 68s.
Look at that typography.
Wow.
It's
Hire this
it's a
man.
little bigger this time.
It's slightly bigger.
Wait,
yes.
isn't it your exact? I literally just
Exact same
erased
score.
a 68
Yeah,
off your
like
board before
exact
you got
same
here.
score as last week.
Okay,
So go listen
68.
to that episode.
68. That's pretty good. Okay.
That's. I mean, yeah, I can't go much higher or lower. Like not a single point. I outrageously fun movie, and I just can't discount it for how much fun I have with it. So call it nostalgia glasses if you will, but this one is a lovely film.
I feel like a jaded old curmudgeon
are.
with a heart that's 3 sizes too small. But I got to be honest with my gut, and I'm going to give it a 38. And I said it's a carbon copy minus the charm. So 38. 38 sits right at the top of my bad 20 to 40 rating. So it's almost
the top
to
of your bad.
It's almost to the enjoyable, which is 40 to 60, but not quite there. There was it's too absurd. I lost immersion so many times. 38.
I see we both went with revolver gun calibers.
Nice.
Whatever that means.
That was subconscious, I think.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Okay. Critical Mess. Brian's here. Brian MC Cull is here. Grizz is here.
I'm here.
Producer Ben is here. And we're going to talk about, well, what is this show about? It's about critics and audiences not agreeing on films, and we're going to talk about that related to this film. They didn't agree. Let's talk about it, guys.
Well, the critics definitely liked it less than the audience, but the audience wasn't really too hot on it either. I mean, they gave it a 62. That's just barely fresh.
Yeah.
But, the critics were a lot lower on it. The consensus, a change of venue and more sentimentality and violence can't obscure the fact that Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is a less inspired facsimile of its predecessor. I love the word facsimile. We don't use
That's
that
a fun
word
one.
as much as we could. Janet Maslin, New York Times. It's much more violent than the first film's comparable set of dirty tricks, and Kevin, removed from his embattled home, seems much more cavalier, possibly even meaner than his bullying older brother Buzz. Devin Rattray is his name. And then I wanted to read another one along with that because they're both very similar. Dave Kerr, Chicago Tribune. The pleasures here are entirely cruel, with an unhealthy concentration on the suffering of the victims, on the thudding impact of various objects against their heads, on their howls of agony. Guys, is Kevin a terrible person in this one?
He's a very terrible human in this film.
Yeah.
If you don't see that,
That's why I love it.
I mean,
he gets sadistic in this film across the board.
He just tortures these guys, right?
Yeah.
Like just to torture them.
Well, and he's a jerk to his family.
I disagree.
You think?
I think he got done wrong.
I think he got done wrong.
I think Buzz is the piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah. Buzz is definitely a piece of garbage.
It's kind of like Saw for children, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's great.
There's a lot of torture and a lot of very violent things that should kill you.
The guys over at Corridor Crew, if you guys follow that channel, they also made like a little trailer snippet of maybe it was Home Alone 1 or 2, I can't remember, but they made it R-rated.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Re-added.
Oh,
like
I've seen
CG.
that actually.
If you have not seen
that,
we should link it below.
It's very good.
And also watch most of their stuff because it's all super good.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Kenneth Turan, Los Angeles Times. The result, with some exceptions, plays like an over-elaborate parody of the first film, reminding us why we enjoyed it without being able to duplicate its appeal. How similar to the first film is this one?
2.
Yeah.
What? 2? What?
TOO.
Oh, I was like...
It's a word.
I get it.
Read a book,
This
Grizz.
movie, it's a beat for beat. I mean, there's a joke in the commentary by Macaulay Culkin saying like it must have taken him less than an hour to write this film because he already had it written the first time. So,
yeah. Can I ask the room real quick what your quick, just 10-second thoughts are on the original Home Alone compared to by itself or compared to this?
for me, it's in the low 90s out of 100 for me, for sure.
Big fan.
Yeah, huge fan.
It's in the 80s.
Have you
for me,
seen it
probably.
more often than the second one, or are you still just 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, no, I've probably seen the first one 5 times.
Okay, but you'd rate it more highly. Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh, so much more.
Ben, you Home Alone fan?
No.
Okay.
I mean, slightly less. Like 90, it would be what my rating is for this.
You're at a 90.
89. 89 is Home Alone.
Whoa, I love
90.
that.
Yeah.
I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
We
I'm
kind of knew that though.
I'm
coming
standing
in.
my ground. I don't care what you guys say.
We respect you.
Way
I'll
to think
listen
for yourself.
I'll listen
Yeah.
to you guys, but I know what I rated it.
Oh, I've got words.
I love it.
Yeah, I loved Home Alone as we've heard. This one not so much, but yeah, I thought it was very similar to the first one. It just didn't have. Well, we'll get to Marquee Mess. Desson Thompson, Washington Post. Evidently, the younger you are, the more you'll enjoy this. Just don't expect your older companions to laugh. And when Culkin bonds with Pigeon Lady Brenda Fricker in the unspeakably boring middle, don't be surprised if the adults escape to the lobby. Did you guys buy the Pigeon Lady? No. Remember the first one, the old man who shovels the salt and he's scared, and they're all scared of him. It's obviously who she was in this.
Yeah,
obviously.
Did we buy her?
Nope. Not one bit.
Yeah.
That was a big
I didn't
dock
buy
of my
that.
points.
Now there was a joke, and I was going to save this for slow burn, but whatever.
You can save it.
I'm not saving it.
Don't save it.
Where? Why didn't she? Wasn't she just covered in shit? She had pigeons.
I mean, she kind of
sitting on her
was
front,
a
but
little
she
bit.
not
Yeah,
really.
she was.
No, she was. No, she's just a little bit. There wasn't just white globs of bird shit just all over her, like there would be if you were a person that sat in the park covered in pigeons all day.
She was like Radagast the Brown,
odd.
and he was covered in shit. She should have been covered in shit as
Yeah,
well.
she had she was not covered in shit.
But I didn't buy her. I didn't buy her as this completely like
I love that you're
normal person, who's like emotionally intelligent and completely with it and has empathy and is smart. That would be in that situation.
It's very
Yeah.
stupid.
It's a stretch.
Oh, and gosh, well, I'm going to save that for Hot Pocket. Never mind, because we've got more on that topic.
She seemed educated. Yeah.
Sorry, but go ahead. Ben.
Well, no, his note is that she needed to be covered in shit more.
Yeah.
I'm just
note
going
that.
for a
Let's note that.
smidge of realism.
Yeah.
A smidge of pidge.
Yeah, yes. Don't ask
good.
for a lot here.
Marquee mess.
Jay,
Smidge of pitch.
last one, Jay Boyer, or Orlando Sentinel. With any luck at all, the McCallisters will just stay home next Christmas. How ridiculous is the premise?
We just have to just let that go, I think. I let it go. I did. I could let it go.
You're letting go of the fact that
I know. It's bad.
Well, this
So
could,
when-
this
so when
could
you-
only happen in the 90s.
when you watched Speed 2 and they were on a boat and the boat had to go above a certain speed and it couldn't slow down because it blew up, did you go, that's fine, that makes sense? Or did you go, what the fuck? How the fuck did this happen again?
As the only person that saw Speed 2 in the theater.
Oh, I saw it twice.
the first one.
In
No,
theaters?
did you in the Speed 2 you did?
Speed 2.
Wait.
So
At the
we were
$1.50 Cinemark
we were
down
there
in Greenwood.
together.
I was the one
It's like-
down in Greenwood, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I was there. Yeah.
I'm alarmed.
No, I don't even remember the question. The first one.
I'm just saying, like, it's such a nuanced premise that to make a
absurd.
sequel of it, like, you're like, why? Okay, first of all, they're leaving again to go somewhere different for Christmas when they have the most Christmassy house I've ever seen in my life, and
In
everyone's
Chicago.
there. Then they all leave. I buy
know,
that
to go
once,
to Miami.
but the very next year to do it again and then just not check to see if Kevin's on the plane and all. It was too ridiculous of a premise.
Plus
To
these
me,
people are just fucking terrible parents.
yeah, I'm surprised at John Hughes.
jeez.
oh, yeah. Yeah. They are
Jeez.
horrible humans.
I'm really surprised that John Hughes thought that we would buy this film. Yeah, critics not liking it. I've got some gems in the audience.
Oh, you got some there too.
Riz, I didn't know if you wanted to.
I mean, I'm sure we might overlap because I got some good ones. Saint V. I have to read the first part.
I've
of
got
this one.
Saint V.
You got Saint V. All right.
Oh, I got Saint
Let
V
me-
too. Let's go.
Let me read the first part. You read the second part, okay?
Okay.
All right, because I had this separated. Okay, Saint V, 5 out of 5 stars. I would just like to say that nobody who rated this poorly wasn't a child when it was made.
Return of the Jedi wasn't made for 40-year-olds, and neither was Home Alone 2.
I knew you would like this one. I'm so glad you had this written
Your
down.
vein is popping out.
Yeah, that was my last
In the
one.
forehead, not
Yeah.
the neck. It's
No,
the
That
It's
was
the
the last
forehead.
one I was going to read, and my question is, can somebody explain to me what the fuck his point is? Like, I don't understand his point.
I think he's he's just saying that it's made for kids. And he also thinks that Return of the Jedi was made for kids, not for adults.
So I'm confused because what he's saying is he loved the movie, and what he's saying is
Obviously.
the only people that can possibly rate this movie highly are people who were a child when this movie came out, which is a very small
Not that the people
section
that
of
could rate
people.
it. He's just talking about people that would enjoy it. Like, it's not made specifically for everyone. It's made for
he's
children.
He's saying, I just want to say anyone who rated this poorly wasn't a child when it was made. So
Yeah.
basically, he's saying, like, you have to have been a child when you saw this to rate it highly, which to me is damning of the critical rating of a movie. And he's using that as his point to say that it's why it's a 5 out of 5. I don't know. I was very confused, but
Yeah,
maybe
I
I'm
get
reading
it.
into it too much.
You're probably reading into it too.
I mean, he did bring up Return of the Jedi in the next sentence. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's also a saint.
He's a saint.
Yeah, Saint V.
Is it Saint V or Saint Roman numeral 5? I don't know.
Saint 5 for
Okay.
sure. This one's unknown. 2.5 out of 5. More or less the same as Home Alone. It has its moments. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I don't know if we mentioned it's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
We did.
Well,
Nick said that. Yeah.
Will entertain most kids with its slapstick and crude humor, but adults will find it boring. Plus, I'm pretty sure the pigeon lady was played by Pierce Morgan.
Yeah, that is a good.
That's good. That's good. I like that. I'll give that one the credit.
Now,
That's
same
mean.
vein of the exact same thing we just talked about, but it's hard because I think this is just an amped up version of 1. Like, I mean, everything's just dialed to 11 across the board. Like the pranks he pulls, the jokes.
Hang on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hang on. You said that was dialed to 11.
Yeah,
And about 30 episodes ago, we talked about Spinal Tap.
yeah, we did.
Have you watched it yet?
I have not watched it.
Okay, you're not allowed to use that joke. You're not allowed to use that joke.
Eat shit.
No.
Good call out. Way to keep him honest.
Yeah, thank you.
Way to go.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. I stand my ground.
Respectful. All right.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the watch list this holiday.
We want you to watch.
You don't even know
Spinal Tap.
you don't even know what it means.
We want you to watch it because we love you.
Scene. I just have not seen the movie.
Worth
Get the
watching.
reference. I get it. So what do we think about that? I think it's the same as the first comment, but
I will push back, and I'm not, obviously, yeah, I mean, I'm not pushing back on you, but on the comment here is, I don't think that I think that they tried to make a movie that had the same sort of pacing and same sort of story beats and idea as the first one, but the heart of the first one is that a boy learns to be courageous, he learns that he loves his family, and he protects his home against burglars. In this one, you have a boy who's already learned those lessons, doesn't need to learn those lessons anymore, and he goes and tortures people, these guys, for just because he's sadistic. Like, to me, it's superficially the same, but the heart is totally different.
I will agree with that 100%.
Thank you.
I think that's the hardest part of this. I think Macaulay Culkin was the worst part of this film.
Yeah, and he was a year older. He was less cute. Kieran Culkin was amazing.
He was way less cute. Yeah. That would have been fun if Kieran was lost. What do you guys think? What if Kieran played Home Alone in this one?
That'd be pretty cool.
Be a little bit different.
Although there would have been an outcry.
Small.
Macaulay Culkin was so huge in the zeitgeist at this era that if they put out Home Alone 2 so close together and they didn't star him, this movie wouldn't have made shit.
It would have blown up.
It would have bombed.
Yep.
Go ahead, Grizz. I got a few when you're done.
This is Unknown, 5 out of 5. A film set from heaven. The storyline is amazing. A sequel even better than its predecessor. And the first film was great. So well acted. The spirit of Christmas is caught perfectly in this film. So good. I watch it when it's not Christmas. Simply amazing.
Ben Ponish.
There was a lot of
Ben
people.
Ponish.
Ben Ponish. There were a lot that I read that the people were just like, this movie's perfect. It's better than the first one. I watch it all the time. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but it is not better than the first. I'm sorry. I just can't.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
There's funny parts.
I get the same level of enjoyment from the first one that I do from the second one.
I mean,
That's why they're like, for me, they're so close.
I can see that.
Score.
I can see that.
Yeah. Rich S, 2.5 out of 5. This is the weird part about these reviews. They're all back and forth between 5 and 2.5. Like, I think that's just a weird
you never
thing
see
that I noticed.
2.5s on the audience.
A lot of these are 2.5s.
Interesting.
It's a spruced up copy of the first with some extra goodies, but the laziness of the script is the determining factor, and the factor is not as good as barely above average.
Yeah, it was pretty lazy. There was a lot of lazy writing here.
Super lazy. I mean, it's weird because there are like a lot of like connective tissues that a lot of people complained about on the critic side, but I feel like it paced itself to one scene to the next, and it had payoffs from first act to second to third.
I feel like there was a page in the third act of the script that was just like in brackets, hijinks in brownstone, and that's like 45 minutes of the movie length.
Yeah. 3 out of 5. Please don't watch this if you have any respect for the original. I get that. And then last, 5 out of 5, Unknown. Screw you, Rotten Tomatoes. This is one of the best sequels in history of cinema, in league with The Empire Strikes Back, The Dark Knight, and Spider-Man 2.
That's trolling. That's trolling.
Did you find that one?
Gotta be trolling.
Did you find that one?
No, I didn't.
No?
I didn't.
I just watched Brian's face that entire review.
I literally just turned straight to Brian.
Just
I
a good troll.
listened to those 3 movies and I was like, yeah, he's trolling.
Yeah,
Justin S. Critics are peasants and their opinion don't matter.
I like how you read that.
Full review.
I love that with reviews so much.
Tejas W. I hope all the critics, in quotes, who reviewed this movie with a bad score end up in the hands of Kevin and his devious traps. Bro could wipe out the entire critic population in North and South America single-handedly. Perhaps if we add Oceania, he could handle that too.
My God.
Shout out to Oceania. I feel like they don't get mentioned very often. Shawnee. Best Christmas squeal ever.
Squeal?
Sequel.
SQUEAL.
No, he's reading it right.
Matthias T, all caps. How is this 35% of Rotten Tomatoes? It was in third place in the best movies in 92. Why 35% of Rotten Tomatoes? It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. When I not deserve to be 35% of Rotten Tomato meter.
Did you look these people up on Facebook just to see what they look like?
Everyone can go. You can go and you can read all these yourself. People.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
NPR voice?
Oh, do you have an NPR?
You better.
How about Anonymous, the next one? Let's all agree that Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone. My thought there was, why do we have to all agree? Like, why is this person out here trying to get everyone to agree? Like, just write the fuck what you thought of the movie. Don't worry about trying to get your bros and rise up against the man. Just watch a movie and put your rating down.
Yeah. Just like I don't think I get why you guys don't like this. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
You were saying what you thought of the movie, and no one can tell you otherwise.
Right.
I can tell you to stop trying to rise an army. Shut up. Last one. Good film. I really like it, actually. I like the character of Kelvin, and also how he shouts. Ah, that's incredible.
I love how your top lip, your hair is just like vibrated as you did that.
There's your audience.
All right.
Good job. You guys are,
We did.
There were 250,000 plus audience reviews, by the way.
you guys are enjoyable.
That was really good, guys.
That was.
That was
welcome.
really good.
Good job. We did it.
Good job, buddy.
This is Critical Mess, and now we move on to Flip the Script.
Man, that just gets longer every time.
God, that is a
you add
juicy.
it
It just
that?
hangs for a
Juicy
long
bass.
time.
What sound designer created that in the 90s? Man,
Zimmer. I hope.
Absolutely.
Hans Zimmer
Hans
made
Zimmer.
that.
Do you know what's funny is I had a chance to cut that off, and I
No. Make it
Your
longer.
intuition served you
You
well.
should make it longer.
Will you make it like 10 seconds longer?
Yeah, make it longer each week.
I'll do that. I'll
Just
do that.
stretch it.
Okay, so yeah, flip the script. So now we're going to talk about if we gave the film a good review, we're going to talk about what we didn't like and vice versa. So I'll get the party started here, guys.
Go.
So I gave a negative review to this film. So here's a couple things I liked about it. Fun moments in this film. Kevin outsmarting people is still fun. It's still fun to watch, even if he's a dick, whatever. Still fun. Despite the setup being like a total rehash, which we've covered a little bit already. I think they actually did it, like they somehow did it better than I thought they could have. They made it still kind of charming, even though they definitely rehashed it. I was surprised how well it was able to be pulled off, even though it was kind of a carbon copy. Catherine O'Hara, she's very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, she can do no wrong. She's amazing.
she's great. And kind of a fun cast overall. You know,
Yeah.
Joe
Tim Curry.
Pesci's awesome.
Pesci
Yeah,
and-
Rob
yep.
Schneider.
Tim Curry.
Marvin Harry.
Yeah, Tim Curry was so good in
God.
this.
Yeah, Tim
Curry was
Curry,
unbelievable.
great. You know, and I guess the movie like kind of tried to have some heart. Kind of tried. It tried.
It missed a lot.
It tried.
but
It
yeah,
tried.
It tried.
It tried.
Yeah, I'll flip positive as well. I think the movie had a lot of the pieces in place. It had the cast. It had the setting. This is a great New York movie. This is one of the
It's
best.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
New
a
York
good. Yeah,
movies.
like that.
And I mean, like I had to bring it up again, but I was just in New York for a week, got back, watched this 2 days later, and I just was like, yes, that's New York. That was shot in New York. That's amazing. And then it had all the pieces, and it had like even the John Williams score, same director, writer, all the stuff, but it just lacked like a reason to exist other than a cash grab. And it's very evident here that you can have all the pieces, you can have all the ingredients to a recipe, but then bake it wrong and it comes out a giant mess. And I think that's what this was. But I will say that I agree with you. I thought while the alarm clock being unplugged was a stupid reason and lazy writing for them all to almost miss the plane, what I did like was I'm thinking, I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, how are they going to forget him again? How are they going to do it? I was a little, 10-year-old thinking, what? And then they did it. Like they blew my mind because like he follows this other guy he thinks is the dad because he's messing with his talk boy. That all adds up. Obviously pre 9/11, he gets to the thing, the boarding pass is all it's time sensitive, plane taking off. Good job.
And
that sequence was good.
They give you that nice fake out where they're leaving in the cars for the airport, and they're like, and you're like, oh, they're gonna leave him, like they did last time, and then it's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's in the front seat.
Where's he
I
at?
loved all that. That was great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Great stuff.
Yep.
And then I said, just one specific scene. I loved the scene when they're at baggage claim, and they're like, "Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin." It gets all the way down to Kieran Culkin, and he says, "Kevin's not here," and it comes all the way back.
Yeah.
And that felt more like the Home Alone from the beginning. That felt for the first Home Alone. When he spills all the stuff in the kitchen and it like pans and shows the whole. I love whenever the whole family's involved in something.
Totally.
And then Tim Curry getting slapped. And somehow he makes his lip quiver.
Dude, it's so good.
Fucking 5 points on the movie for Tim
points for just
Curry's
Curry's
lip
lip
quiver.
So I'll have to flip negative on this. I mean, it's not too hard to go negative. I think Macaulay Culkin, oddly enough, is the hardest part for me to watch because he is super dark and sadistic in this film. And I just think he misses a lot of that cuteness that he had, that heart that he had in the first film. I think that's part of it. Second, it's a really long movie. I kind of forgot.
It's over 2 hours?
It's over 2 hours long. And
That means we're going to be hot pocketing for a long time tonight.
And then, I just think the pacing was a little strange. I mean, there were a lot of pieces that connected next, like whatever, but the first one's just so much better. And it's hard for me to look at this and say it's a better film. I had a lot of fun. That's the hardest part is I will rewatch this over and over again. There's a lot of things that I noticed this time, and I've seen it countless times in my life. So it's definitely rewatchable. That's the hardest part.
If you turn your brain off, there's a lot to just enjoy in this movie.
Yeah. All right.
You need to get a clean. You need to get a clean take of that.
Okay. Time for Marquee Mess. That's where we rename the film. So,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
there it is. All right. I have 10 titles tonight, and I think they're all mediocre.
Mine are just very mediocre as well.
Okay. Grizz, are yours great?
I have one great title.
That's better than 10 mediocre.
That's all I have. I
Start
just have
with it
one.
right now. Drop it on us.
All right, it's Airbnb.
Oh yeah,
Airbnb.
Yes, that's
Okay.
really good.
That's
That's
good.
all I got.
Good job.
Not bad.
That's it.
I don't want to read any of mine now.
Okay. I'll start. Home Alone with a Vengeance.
That's good. I had Rome Alone.
He roams a lot. He's all over the city.
How about not Home Alone?
Yep.
Good call.
He's not home.
Okay, well I'll just read mine. That's that too. Home Alone 2. Actually, not home or alone.
Yeah, there you go. This one's pretty bad. Kevin's Heaven.
Tell me you wrote that down.
My next one is Kevin's Heaven.
No, but see,
Kevin Heaven is
possesses-
real good.
I went to
possesses
Kevin
heaven.
though.
That's why he's our
Kevin.
house
You
copywriter.
guys remember Seventh Heaven?
That's I think.
that's-
yeah.
That's the,
I had to do it for the
wait, that sounds
for the
like Seventh
listeners.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Kevin's Heaven is clearly better than Kevin's Heaven. Good job.
I kind of like this one. Mac and Thieves.
Ooh,
Wait.
Mac and Thieves.
Macaulay
Uh-huh.
and Thieves.
Oh, Thieves. I thought you said
Thieves.
Thebes, like the ancient Egyptian city.
Oh no, well that would have been way better.
No, Mac and Thieves.
Mac and Thieves.
That's good. I like it.
Mac and Thieves. Mhm.
Stupid, irresponsible adults making poor decisions.
Yeah, well that's a fact. The Sticky Up.
Sticky
the,
Bandits.
The Sticky Bandits. Sticky Up. Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the movie We Need to Talk About Kevin?
No.
It's fucked up. It's really good.
It's fucked up. It's really
And-
good.
And I'm not talking about Home Alone 2.
Okay.
Oh, that was it.
Well, I think we need to talk about
Oh,
Kevin.
oh,
'cause
okay. Got it.
He's sort of sadistic here.
Yes.
Everybody
But
hates Kevin.
There's an even crazier, more sadistic boy named Kevin in a movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin. You should check it out.
Yeah, this one's bad too, but whatever. Milking the Culkin cash cow.
I don't know if you can say that.
I don't know what. It just,
I mean, it doesn't matter. If it rolls off the tongue, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know? And mine
It
don't.
sounded great.
My last one is the world's most emotionally intelligent crazy pigeon lady.
What else do I have? Good Lord.
Do you think she was emotionally intelligent, or do you think she just
yeah. Oh,
said
yeah.
yes
She was
to
a-
Kevin, and Kevin was just
she reflected on her life and on her mistakes and really listened to him and bonded and made a friendship and got a turtle dove and
I feel like she
encouraged
just kept
Kevin.
agreeing with a 9-year-old as if he was the savior that she needed, which was just odd.
The unrealistic part of that is that the 9-year-old had all this sage advice.
Right,
And they-
exactly.
They tried to channel the
Yeah.
remember the old guy in the church. And
Yeah.
Kevin has some advice for him, but it wasn't just all one way. It was like the old guy was telling Kevin stuff too,
Yes.
and then Kevin kind of had a little bit back, so it was like give and play. This one was totally,
None. Yep.
yeah.
All right, I got a few more. Concrete Bungle.
Oh yeah, Bungle.
Oh yeah, Bungle.
Well, sometimes Nick uses vocabulary words, and it takes my brain like 3 or 4 seconds to like remember what the definition is, and that's usually when you hear me go, "Oh yeah, bungle."
Oh no, I have to look him up hours later. I write him down.
You won't have to look this one up. How about Escape from New York, Happy Meal version?
Yeah. How did I
Nice.
leave Snake Plissken off? Jeez, that's good.
I like this one actually. This might be my favorite one. Right in the Pesci.
Joe would like that one.
And we'll conclude with Deuce Bigelow, Bellhop, Gigolo.
Cedric.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Rob Schneider.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
What are we doing? Critical Mess. That's what this is. Talking about Home Alone 2. Sponsored by Homefield. We're sponsored by Homefield. Okay, now we're going to move to Tharks. And you know what? I want you to leave in the comments below what movie that sound effect is from. Can anyone name it?
Ooh, it's a previous episode.
It's a previous
we'll see if they
episode.
can.
Well, okay, that was
Hint.
a big hint.
Little
It's
hint.
a big hint.
I mean, we have 40 plus episodes. It's going to be a
Yes.
little hard.
Also, hey, real quick, while we're talking about leaving a comment in the comments down below.
Leave a comment in the comments down below in the comments.
Hey, tell us what you rated this movie. We want to know.
right, yeah.
Tell us what you rated the movie. Just type your
Yes.
comment, type what you said. Maybe give a little 1 or 2 sentence. And maybe I'll read it with the funny neck vein next time. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just at least comment what you rated this.
And Ben, will you cut this up front? What he just said?
Oh, yeah, cut it so it's
It was a really important statement. It's like, rate the movie.
Yeah, we forgot.
Important
We
comment.
forgot to say that.
So, yeah, and we're saying it like a fucking hour in. No one's listening anymore. So it's like,
I'll give a shout out to a listener that's watched every episode thus far or listened to on YouTube at least. My son Crosby. So he just texted me his score for this movie because he really hates that you don't like this movie. Just heads up, Brian. Sorry.
Wait, how old is your son?
My 11-year-old.
He watches this?
Oh, absolutely.
I hope I'm not a role model for him.
Absolutely. He comments
Don't
on.
listen
He
to
actually
anything
comments
I
on a
say,
lot
Crosby.
of these. His comments are usually just "Hey, Dad," so it's just the best part. But he scored an 89 out of 100.
89.
So right
he's
there with Ben.
one away from Ben.
See,
Crosby and I are like this.
I
best
know.
friends.
Yeah. See,
Nick
Yeah.
was one less than Reagan. Crosby one less than Ben.
Yeah. Nobody cares about
so,
Tharks.
yep. I was just going to say all roads lead to Reagan. But we're doing Tharks. And Brian does Tharks usually.
Well, I mean, I don't have to. I mean, if you guys would, if you guys have any, but
like when you do Tharks.
no, this doesn't have any. It barely does. It has burglars deserve to be tortured relentlessly because they're burglars, and physically violent revenge is justified as long as it's a kid doing the violence. That's all I got.
And that's a universal truth.
Attempted murder. Yeah. B&E. Yeah.
It's all
cute.
I got.
And so we're done?
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome. Okay, that was
Check.
excellent. That was like you get a gold star today for Tharks.
Proud of you.
I like that we're glad that the movie we're analyzing didn't have any themes or
No,
what
it's just
kind of
because we just
backwards-
hate the segment. It's
Yeah.
not about the movie.
I don't hate the segment. It's one of my favorite segments.
Well,
but
you
guys can.
and one other person like it.
Who's the other person? Get
No
real.
one really knows. He thinks he knows who they are, but they
there's
don't
somebody.
really exist. Anyway, Brian, it's time for you. It's time for more you.
No. Why? Oh, this is
Do you ever forget you have a segment?
this isn't me. This isn't me. This is okay. So
Are we NPR voice?
welcome to Brian's Corner, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Happy holiday to you. I hope that your holiday is festive and lighted and lit. If you know what I mean, especially if you see the family. So welcome. Glad you could join me. But I want to. I got to get this real quick one here. Okay. There's a device in this movie that I coveted as a 10-year-old. It was called a talk boy. And
This is
Kevin,
I'm so excited.
It's a central
me too.
central plot device, and I fucking wanted that so bad when I was 10. And it made me think of other trinkets from movies around my formative years that I coveted whenever I saw them in a movie. And I know there's so many out there that I'm forgetting, and that's where you guys come in. But I'll just read 4 or 5.
Wait, no, Brian, did you get one?
No, I never got a talk.
Oh, you didn't get
No.
one? I had one.
So I got one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I
let's
got
hot pocket this a
it
little
was
bit.
years
We'll-
later. It was way
No, I
later.
got one when. the
Oh
movie
no!
was-
When it came out,
Yeah,
it came out
I
after
was-
this. But yeah, it was like 7 years later.
Yeah, I
that's a
played. I used it so
Heartbreaker.
much.
You didn't get one.
Also had the Talk Girl. I had that one too.
Yeah, I didn't have the talk.
I had that.
I didn't know they were real. They're real?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was made for the movie as a prop, but they realized that there was so much demand.
Grizz,
they
you
ended
bought
up
the Talk
making-
Girl?
Yeah, I'll explain that.
that's
We just
more the
passed right
headline.
over that.
Yeah, no,
It's
we'll-
great.
yeah, we'll get
Right,
into it.
So yeah,
Okay,
my mom ran an in-home daycare for my entire life, and she bought a lot of toys secondhand. And so 2 of them were a Talk Boy and a Talk Girl. Talk Girl was the exact same thing, but it was hot pink.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
know what it is.
Oh, okay, just making sure. Yeah.
Insert sexist comment here, which we won't do.
Which is funny.
Well, no, but it's like you're like 9 years old, and it's like Talk Boy or Talk Girl. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Grizz,
I had
but
the
Classic
you get what you
90s
want. I mean, obviously, who gives a
classic
shit?
90s toys.
I had
It's just-
my talk boy was a speak and spell.
Wow.
Remember speak and spell?
Oh, yeah, I do.
yeah,
that was
for the
that was
olds-
what I had.
For the
I
olds
I
that
remember I
watch.
had a speak and okay, so there was a kid in my class. His name, I'm not going to say his last name, even though I remember it's a great last name. His first name was Andy.
Okay.
And he would
and
put
spell.
he would just insult our teacher relentlessly with the speak and spell before class.
That's so good.
And just type like, Mrs. Johnson is a monkey, you know, and like all sorts of
boy.
stuff. Like he was very mean to her, but he always blamed it on the speak and spell. He's like, I didn't type that shit. So anyway,
What were some of you guys' favorite childhood toys? I'm going to say my favorite number one was Exo Squad. I had Exo Squads. I had a whole collection of them, and I hate the fact that I don't have them anymore. But a close second, we had a whole bunch of Marble Works that we would always play with.
but Brian, I think you're crossing our other podcast, Exopod.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna be,
We're not on that one? Oh, we're on Critical Mass. Shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
But yes, we're still doing that podcast.
Did you have a favorite childhood toy though? We're kind of veering a little.
I
bit
mean,
here.
I will never forget the first toy I bought that was super. It was $100. It was a
Whoa,
it
whoa.
was like it was like 3 foot tall Michelangelo figure, and it had like the detail of
like the naked
character.
statue of David carved by
TMNT.
Michelangelo.
No, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, my Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so I just remember spending $100, saving up for $100.
Damn,
and
you got
getting
the
that.
hundy?
Dude. It was awesome. I'll never forget that toy for sure.
Nick, was yours an American Girl doll also costing $100?
Yeah.
What?
What was your favorite toy?
Did you not have sisters? All right, never mind. That was for our listener to my
what that
left.
even means? No, weren't you going to give us some toys?
Yeah, what do you got?
I these aren't those. I just was
Wait,
curious.
I thought you had 5.
See, I
Yeah,
did.
no, you
but,
got- yeah,
I
you
did-
were ready.
I did, but I brought up childhood toys, and then we went to the Speak and Spell,
Right.
and I just was curious if you guys had.
Let's just talk about more Exo Squad.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, let's go Exo
Captain
Squad.
JT Marsh. He was truly a hero.
JT Marsh. Ooh, man.
Anyway, okay.
All right. So these aren't necessarily toys, but they're things from movies. The Power Glove from The Wizard.
Obviously, still have one.
When that movie came out, that blew my mind so hard that first of all, Super Mario 3 was in that movie, and I just was like, "That's how Mario has a raccoon
Yeah.
tail." And I think I blacked out.
the greatest
for like a week.
commercial of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the quote, the exact quote when he breaks out the Power Glove? He
No.
goes, "The Power Glove, it's so bad."
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tim Curry.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Does it? Okay,
wait, are you referencing the commercial or the movie?
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Fred
Okay,
Savage.
all right. Cool.
The night vision goggles from Jurassic Park. I really wanted those. Those
yeah.
things were so cool. The way that they would turn and they lit up, and you
And
could
they
see
were
night
cool
vision.
colored, too.
Yeah,
Like,
so
they were
I
cool.
own those too.
Yeah.
You had those?
Yeah, we had like
rich
it was years.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Damn.
it wasn't.
You just had the
it was a lot of
night
like
vision as a
years and
child?
years later that my mom would find these secondhand. I just like am remembering a lot of toys that she would bring home. I'm like, holy shit, she did have that.
My fourth one, Rolex. Oh, I guess you had one of those as a kid too. Just kidding. That's not one of them. I'm gonna go.
Kid Rolex.
Yeah, one of those too.
Guys, this is not a trinket, but it was something that I just needed so bad. And this is a shout out to a previous episode. Matter of fact, our very first ever episode, there's a scene in Hook where the kids are throwing bowls of like icing and frosting at each other. And I
Bangarang.
just wanted to eat that. And I wanted a table full of delicious bowls of colorful whipped cream and frosting and icing. And I'm going to make that happen someday.
Yeah.
The hoverboard from Back to the Future. Now, I know that that's not real, but I wanted it so bad.
How the fuck is
we-
that not real
I
in
know.
2024?
I know.
All right.
What the
The year of our Lord.
fuck are we
What are we
spending
doing?
our
All right, I'll-
time and
I'll give-
resources and R&D
AI,
and
get
money
on
on?
that.
Google, you have trillions of dollars. Just
Make a hoverboard.
Fucking hoverboard. I'll pay $1,000 for it.
I don't care if it's pink. I want it to be pink.
Yeah, but I want it to be hot
I wanted
pink.
some hot pink. Yeah.
Yeah. And green. And like,
We already got the shoes that tie themselves.
Yeah.
They made those.
We got the Nikes.
Fucking hoverboard, man.
My last one, and this was a little bit older, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up The Matrix.
Thank you.
Oh, thank goodness.
And I worked at
Jeez, there it is.
And I worked at Circuit City when The Matrix came out.
VP
and I sold
of
and I
marketing?
sold cell phones at Circuit City when The Matrix came out. And there was a fucking badass switchblade phone that Neo has, and he clicks it and it goes fing, and it like and it's like he puts it up, and people came in like 5 to 10 times a day saying, "Do you guys have the Matrix phone? Do you guys have the Matrix phone?" And I had to always tell them like, "Nope, it doesn't exist.
It's not a real
Here,
phone, right?
They sell it in Europe, but they don't sell it in America." But I wanted that phone so bad because think how cool it'd be cool if you pulled your phone out like, oh man,
So cool.
it'd be so cool. Whoa.
whoa.
You guys have any movie items that you just coveted? You just needed the thing
The movie Small Soldiers. I wanted those characters real bad.
that like are what like little act. Little
Yeah, do
action?
you remember the movie
I
Small
haven't seen
Soldiers?
that.
It's from like the
Yeah, it's
late
pretty good.
90s, midnight.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, the characters from that.
Damn. The only thing that comes to mind is the the jacket from Drive, which I got.
Oh, that's
You're such
an
a
old.
child.
Okay,
I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wear it every night. I sleep in it.
It
Looks comfy.
Yeah, it kind of is. I've got one.
Yeah. What? Yes.
The Game Gear from Three Ninjas.
Oh,
Do you remember
the
that?
Game Gear?
I think wasn't it Tum Tum?
Yeah.
That was playing Game Gear the
Yep.
whole time.
Yep.
And remember they had the Three Ninjas game in the movie.
Oh, they did. The Game Gear.
Well timed.
Game Gear.
Nice.
I had
Yeah, the Game Gear.
I had Game Gear and I had the Three Ninjas
You did?
game. Yeah,
Dang,
I
man.
had the ice blue Game Gear.
Oh, man.
Dang,
If you had that today, you'd be rich.
Yeah,
would.
I hope my parents kept it.
That'd be good.
The only other thing, I mean, remember the movie Big? I basically wanted everything he ever bought for his apartment in that movie, but I couldn't really nail down one specific.
Oh, that
thing from the
giant
movie,
keyboard.
Oh, the keyboard
Yeah,
in the
that you dance on.
in the FAO Schwartz or whatever was really cool too. But like he bought just like cool stuff for his like loft apartment.
I also really wanted this ooze, the ooze thing that they have.
Oh, that he buys from from Duncan's toy
From
chest.
Duncan's toy chest, where he has the like it's like a see-through dragon head.
Oh, cool. I've never even noticed that in this movie before.
We've talked GAC before, right?
Oh, we have talked GAC.
Yeah.
Let's talk more
In
GAC.
length.
Let's talk GAC.
Smelled bad, and it hardened up.
And it always made your fingers wet.
Yeah,
And then your fingers would stink all day.
But then, but if they felt wet, but if you looked at them, they weren't
I
wet.
know. It was weird. That was like made out of like plutonium or something. That was bad.
Some non-Newtonian
It was-
liquid.
That was bad stuff.
this is the reson we're not going to live to 100.
That's when we play with
lot.
GAC
Because
as a
of
Just a
child.
bunch of gack.
If you touched GAC at any point in your life, you're fucked.
Yeah.
What a great name, though. What a great marketing name. GAC.
If you or your friends have touched gack,
I know that's going to be like one of those commercials on like Grit TV.
Maybe
In like 2056, it's gonna. You may be entitled to a large class action lawsuit.
If you have mesothelioma stemming from touching GAC as a child, moderate
GAC
to severe scoliosis.
between the years of 1996 and 1997.
All right.
All right.
That's it. That's all I had
that's
for Brian's Corner, guys. Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
And there it is. Critical Mess. We are hot pocketing. It's time for Hot Pocket. We're talking about all the shit we want to talk about. Hot Pocket. Here it
Everything,
goes.
all the stuff.
All the
Now
random
we're gonna
shit.
Get into it. We're getting
Get
into
our
it.
notes
We're
out.
getting into it. And look, guys, let's just start where I think we need to start. And that is with the music. We've got one John Williams on this score. And I want to talk about in this premium pepperoni pizza.
Ooh.
This premium pep. And we're going to put the garlic butter crust on it right out the gate tonight.
wow.
Okay? Because this is John Williams we're talking about. And what's that smell?
I don't know. But I literally wrote down John fucking Williams, all caps. That's in
Yeah.
my
It
notes.
smells like dirty socks.
Tell you what, dirty socks are not coming from home field.
Ooh, that's correct.
That's right. Homefield.com. Nope.
Home field apparel.
Apparel.com. Code Critical Mess, code Ben20, minus 30%, minus 50%, minus 70%. We are
114% off.
We are wheeling and dealing at Home Field.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. No, we're back to John Williams and we're back to a premium pepperoni pizza. What do we think?
Beautiful.
I mean, like I said, I literally wrote down John fucking Williams. He's one of the greatest.
Can you name any of the themes in this movie that were freshly written for this movie that weren't 100% recycled from the first movie?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter because every other franchise that John Williams has done multiple tracks for, when you go to the sequel and then sometimes third and fourth installments, you keep the same main themes. And John Williams uses motifs quite a bit to match characters. He always writes new ones. You know, Empire Strikes Back. You have the Imperial March did not exist in Star Wars. The Darth Vader theme, as it were, nowhere in Star Wars. He wrote that specifically for the Empire Strikes Back. Same with the Han and Leia theme. Many other themes. That's just one example. There's Temple of Doom has its own music. Last Crusade has its own. List goes on and on. I think this movie had a $28 million budget, even though the first movie made so much money, and they were cheap. They got cheap. And they went, all right, we've got John Williams as our composer. All we're going to do, we're not going to have him compose anything new. We're going to have him just arrange themes that he's already composed and put it to this movie. And my hot take is that the movie is terrible in this movie. The music is terrible in this movie, not because the music itself is bad, but because it's a 100% carbon copy from the first film.
But does it still work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hear new things. Give me a New York theme.
Here's my thing.
Give me a Plaza theme. Give me some other new
Christmas All
themes.
Over Again, or Christmas All Over by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I still think about that song when I think about Christmas. And that's, I heard that song because of this movie.
But it ain't John Williams.
It's not. But like, you know, it fits.
So I'm being 20% coy, 80% honest in saying that. Like the music is amazing, but like if you played an album that's amazing and then you played it again, I wouldn't go, boy, the second time you played that was amazing. I go, well, you just played the first one. So that's my problem.
Chris, do you like John Williams?
Love John.
He wrote John Williams in all caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I think it was great in this film.
That's very insightful, Grizz.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay. We're going to move on to we're going to go right past the 4 cheese and go just right to the 5 cheese. Wow. With the crispy crust. I think this one's got a crispy buttery, succulent.
I mean, it's the holiday season. You got to have special crust.
It's got to be crisped up.
Yeah.
We're going to talk boy. Guys, these things are expensive. You want a new one in box on eBay right now?
New in box?
Yeah.
New
How
box
much do you
is
think
gonna
you're
be like
paying?
300 or 400.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to guess
Wow.
that.
Three or
Yeah.
400 on the low end. On the
Oh,
low
okay.
Shoot.
You want one in like
Damn.
really like pristine condition? I mean, you're talking $600, $700, $800, guys.
Damn.
Yeah.
These
not
shouldn't
gonna-
have gotten rid of mine.
Yeah, these things are
Guess I'm not going to
commanding,
get those for you guys for Christmas this year.
commanding money. So Brian never got the Talk Boy. It's a heartbreaker. We're all sick about it.
I'm even more sick about it now.
I am too.
I'm sad I didn't hold on to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one, obviously.
I'm rich.
Let me guess. Let me
Do you
guess. You were
remember-
an only child.
Do you remember if it had actual cassettes in it or did it auto?
yeah.
It had
I
actual
had actual
cassettes, right?
cassettes, and you could, well, that was the
But
whole
the
thing.
cassette had the branding of Home Alone on it, if I recall.
I think it did, but you could also put in regular cassettes and like
play 'em.
blank
Yep.
ones, and then or play them.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could also slow it down or like speed it up. You could do everything that you could do
Yep.
with that Talk Boy, but to whatever tape you wanted.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Man.
It was awesome. It was so cool, Brian.
This podcast is
sadness.
Brian
As he wipes away tears.
crying.
I remember just like hanging out in my room all day playing with it.
Oh, I just remember
like
on the swing
it
set.
never stopped
Yeah.
being fun.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Hey mom, where's dinner?" And I'd be like, "Hey mom, where's dinner?" Oh my gosh,
Physical comedy bites.
it's just
Yeah,
But Ben,
was
hang
good
on,
to be
hang
a
on.
kid.
I can't let that go. Okay,
Yeah.
you just pointed out Rob Schneider, the physical comedy of when they have to drag him on the ground, right? Why the fuck was he knocked out?
yeah, that was odd.
He
kind of got
all right,
closed.
He barely shoulder bumped
Wait, all right.
a woman, and now he's knocked out, and they have
Yes.
to drag him away. What the fuck is this, Looney Tunes? Come
I'm
on.
sorry. Yeah, kind of. This movie is hilarious for the physical comedy alone. But
No, I'm not asking if that's funny. I know it's funny. Tell me
actually
why
right.
it's there.
I mean, they both fell directly on the back of their heads. That is number one for concussion protocol.
What-
Like, if you land on the back of your head, you're going to be concussed.
Why
That
why was Rob Schneider the
textbook.
only one hurt out of all three of them?
Because he's Rob Schneider.
because it's Rob Schneider, and
Because
it's weird.
silly goopy Rob Schneider.
he's
Let's
weird.
make him
Yeah,
be knocked
exactly.
out.
was very
And
weak.
the female had her hair in a bun. Maybe that cushioned it.
we're gonna move.
Yeah, it's Looney Tunes.
We're gonna move out of this hot pocket, and we're gonna move into a new hot pocket. It's gonna be buffalo style chicken, big and bold. And I want to get just show me, throw me a guess here. How much do you guys think it would have cost to get Macaulay Culkin to watch this film with us?
As like
I
a.
think we could have done it like $5.
I think 10 grand.
But you don't
Yeah.
think he would have done it for $5?
No,
Yeah, I
minimum.
No.
I mean,
10 grand and on Zoom.
I don't know if we're going to talk about this at all, but
in person, yeah, 10 grand at least.
yeah.
No, I'd go 20.
In person,
20?
Yeah, I go 20.
20 grand
Yeah.
minute
Like cameo style,
go to
like
a-
you
to go-
Venmo him 20
yeah.
grand.
He would look at the number of subscribers on our YouTube, and he would directly and proportionally go,
Well, that's why
that's
he
how
like
much
us.
minus $1 million you have to pay me.
Yeah.
That's why he went to Red Letter Media and watched stuff with them, because they've got a bigger
They got a following.
yeah.
Macaulay, $350 and a box of Hot Pockets. That's what we're offering. And
Any
oh,
flavor,
yeah.
any flavor.
And any flavor, and we'll put it on 1.5 times speed. You don't have to be here for an hour.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
wait.
You're just throwing shit out there
know.
now.
Excuse me, talk to the crew
As the
here.
producer of this podcast.
Well, no, he's only here for an hour. We can be here longer. He can come and go.
And I'm hesitant to agree with that because I just shit all over this movie. So I don't want him to be like, yeah, I'm going to watch it with this asshole.
Well, you guys
That's
can
your
all
problem.
leave, and
Do you
him
feel
and
like
I
we're
will watch
Do you
it.
feel like we're lowballing him though? Because he made $4+ million for this movie, plus 5% on the back end.
Damn.
Did you guys know that
He's
part?
not doing this for the money. He's
I-
doing it for fun because he
Yeah, but
likes
we're
us.
still offering. Yeah, he does like us.
Okay.
He's the type-
He likes me because I rated it 90.
Yeah, right. Think about it, like the highest rating for this movie of all time is this guy right here.
But Macaulay Culkin is the type of guy nowadays who would do something like that. He's been
like it.
known.
He's cool. He's cool.
He's
Yeah.
really cool. He's been known to just hang out and watch.
Yeah.
Like I said, Red Letter Media. He's done a bunch of stuff with them. I'm
Macaulay,
sure
do you
he's
know what
done
that
other
would do to
stuff.
our show? It would really help us out.
Yeah, it would. Imagine if he commented. Just commented.
We love you, Macaulay. All right.
Appreciate you.
Who's the Tennessee Volunteers fan? He sucks.
Chicken, broccoli, cheddar, crispy buttery crust. Uncle, forget his name, has just belts one out in the shower.
Yeah.
Frank?
Is that it, Frank?
Frank.
Do you guys sing in the shower?
No.
No.
Ben, what do you sing? National anthem?
But just whatever's in my head.
Happy birthday?
Whatever. I sometimes will wake up with songs in my head,
I'll tell you, Nick,
and then I'll sing those.
Yeah, I do that too.
I'll tell you, especially when I don't sing in the shower. It's when I go to my brother-in-law's house and there's 20 children roaming the halls, and I go in, I leave the door open,
Yeah,
and I
don't
get
lock the
buck
door.
naked, and I sing at the top of my lungs, beckoning people to come in and see what the hell's going on. That's definitely when I don't sing in the shower, and that's what Uncle Frank did here. That's fucking weird.
It's weird, but
It
when
is
he's
weird.
in the shower, the door's closed.
The door's open. It's not
The door's
closed.
open.
Oh,
the door's open.
Yeah, it
Because
was
he
it
sticks
was
his talk
cracked.
toy in.
And there is
Yeah, it was
no
cracked.
airlock. I mean, it is just a one peep away from all those children seeing Uncle
one
Frank.
small child's head.
That's
away.
weird.
Showering with an open door.
in a house.
I mean, it was in the master
Odd.
bedroom too. That was kind of weird.
It wasn't in the master bedroom. It was
Was
right
it?
in the hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was right in the main
that's-
hall.
that's right.
And,
Okay.
and
It
the
was in the
reason
master
the
bedroom
reason
in the first
I'm
movie.
perturbed about that is because they fucking had to pigeonhole that in there to get him singing on the talk boy, to have it go later to where everything matched up perfectly, and it
That's
was
just-
way too forced.
That's great setup and payoff.
It's terrible setup and payoff. It's what they did in the first one. It was earned, and in the second one, they had to figure out a way to recreate it, and it was not earned.
and they
it was
did
terrible
it. And
payoff.
they did it.
They did it.
No, it didn't. Can you back that without just trolling me to be funny? Can you actually like back that up? Like how? Like
Yeah, I don't know.
How was that earned?
I just think it was enjoyable. I just thought it was funny. I don't know. I just thought it was cute. It was you call it lazy. I think it was funny.
I think
don't
it was
know.
enjoyable and funny too. But
Yeah.
like we're talking about like
But my
Why-
enjoyability and my fun factor of this movie is just I don't know, just far higher than yours, I guess. That's just how
oh I thought it was fun. Yeah, I laughed.
You guys
or
wanna-
it affected my score more, I guess.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
You guys want to move on to a chicken, broccoli, and cheddar with a croissant?
Croissant.
Man, we got
Sure.
a lot of fancy crust tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. You're damn straight we do.
Sure, let's see how else I can shit on this movie in this next croissant pocket.
Let's talk Buzz. I want to talk Buzz. How do we feel like Buzz was portrayed in this film versus the first film? Do we like Buzz? Do we think Buzz is cool? Buzz.
Hell yeah. I love Buzz. My favorite line of Buzz dialogue is I think it's only fitting that Kevin opens the first present. Then I'll go, and then the rest of you, and so on. That's just so Buzz.
I love that Buzz.
It's total Buzz.
That's a Buzz quote.
That's a Buzz kill. Okay, we're done.
I need that. I need that button.
Beat that, you little trout sniffer.
Trout sniffer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
I was
good.
watching that with my wife. She goes, "What's a trout sniffer?"
That was all original, right there by Buzz. Yeah.
Are we done with Buzz?
What do you got?
Buzz? I don't know. Yeah, Buzz.
I just got trout sniffer. That's all I have out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Buzz was did Buzz have the strongest arc?
That's the only one I can think of. But he also turned back around and ratted him out for the receipt of room service. So
Yeah.
He had the strongest arc, and that is not saying a lot. But I
saying a
do
lot.
think Buzz is one of the best older brothers in a movie of all time. Like Mount Rushmore.
Buzz is- yeah,
Mount Rushmore older brothers in a movie. Like that actor
totally.
is so good.
So we'll go to a standard pet pizza with the crispy crust. We're all about the crust tonight.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
into it. I'm into it.
It's the best part.
Yeah, right?
yeah.
It's the crispy crust. Kevin in this film, he's rocking some corduroys. Corduroys, guys. How do we feel? Do we like corduroys or corduroys? I think they're kind of coming back.
I had a
Don't-
few.
don't-
I had a few pairs growing up.
Don't quote me, but yeah, aren't they reemerging?
No, Ben.
No,
Home field's not making a
For our
corduroy.
viewers at home.
Field's not making it. Yeah,
Kelvin's not making no corduroy jackets.
No,
Well-
it's a very uncomfortable fabric.
no, I always like.
We have corduroy hats.
If they were well worn,
where they don't swish between your legs and like
There's no swishing.
if they were well
It's just
worn
nylon.
in, yeah. If they were well worn in and they have that soft
It's like the
touch,
fat, like the fat. You got the
Yeah.
fat corduroy.
Yeah.
and you've
Fat
got
ridges.
The very thin corduroy, and the very thin corduroy is no.
yeah, where you getting your corduroy
The
at,
fat
man?
cord, I like.
The fat cord.
I'd wear a fat cord.
pro fat cord.
I am pro fat cord.
I'd wear a fat cord, especially if it had cargo pockets on it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
just a big old fat cord.
Look at that brownstone.
Yeah. Okay.
Ben's
Meatball.
just squirrel.
Yeah. I love this movie.
Meatball mozzarella. I want to talk Pigeon Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I honestly don't know what this note means. All I wrote was Pigeon Woman, comma, in quotes, sick. I don't know what
In
that
what
means.
context we're using the word
I
sick?
don't know.
Sick.
Like, is she, maybe, I feel like maybe
Think
she
she's
should be
ill
ill
because she's around birds a lot?
and covered in a lot of bird excrement.
I feel like she's definitely exposed to a lot of things, especially in New York.
Remove her completely from this movie, please.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Does she have bird flu?
She's got a lot of things.
She seemed too intelligent to have bird flu, but
Yeah.
it's highly likely.
That's why she's outside. Makes sense.
All right, now we're going to go Buffalo. Guys, this is something new, and I think it's perfect.
Okay.
Okay. We're going buffalo chicken with buffalo blasted crust. Yeah.
God damn.
Buffalo blasted.
We're going to talk our president-elect.
Okay. Here we go.
The floor is open. Okay. What do you guys have to say?
All right. The only thing I have to say about his cameo in this film is he asks him where the lobby is, Macaulay Culkin, or
Is that what he asked? Is it where's the
he
lobby?
asks him, where's the lobby?
Yeah.
And Trump turns to him and says, down the hall to the left. Do you guys know where Kevin went when he went down the hall? He went to the right, where the lobby was.
So he was wrong.
He was a little wrong on where to
what
go.
are you saying?
In his own hotel that he owned. So, I mean,
Wait, he owned that hotel?
for like 5 years in the early 90s, Trump owned that hotel, and his stipulation was, if you're going to use my hotel, I want a cameo. And that was part of his deal.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't do that much
Fun
research.
fact.
As
Fun.
a big fan of cameos myself, I loved it. I loved him being there. I thought it was very apropos for the time period, the era where he was, and he didn't have to do any acting. The worst part about a cameo is when the person has to do acting, and you're just like, it's just cringy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a true
Yeah.
cameo.
It's
It was
like
a
if-
one line
Yep.
done.
like if you see like LeBron James in something and he has to like act, you're just like, please just dunk a ball. Just don't say anything. Well, he just
Like
gave
all of
directions.
Space Jam.
Yep, totally fine.
Done.
I,
Yeah,
Is
I
that
love
what you're talking?
cameos.
Is that the only movie he was in? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry, LeBron. I love you. I didn't mean to. You just came to my mind. So
Yeah, he's never going to watch us.
He's a listener.
I mean,
Ben,
with us.
Don't say
watch
that.
with us.
Watch with
us.
He is
Yes.
a watch.
he's watching us,
Yes,
but he,
yes,
you know,
yes,
he won't. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sausage, egg, and cheese with croissant? With a croissant?
At this point,
All right.
you
You're really
have to.
grasping at straws here, aren't you?
No. I'm
We're
deep
getting,
in the well.
We're getting
Okay.
rich.
All right.
Yeah. I want to talk about credit cards, but I want to talk specifically about that carbon paper slider thing
Yeah.
that they used to do in the early 90s. What did that do?
That was back when credit cards had the numbers raised, embossed coming
Right,
out of that.
embossed.
Now our credit cards are all flat. Now
Embossed.
when I worked at Nordstrom, I don't know why, but we used those credit card machines for credit cards, and they were a little bit persnickety. But when they chunked back, and you got
know.
that carbon copy,
Control.
it felt
Yeah.
good. It felt
It did.
really
But what did
good.
it do?
What did the technology actually do? I
did
can
they
make
just-
assumptions, but I
they
don't
must
know.
just mail those in
Yeah,
to the company,
they do.
I guess.
You know what?
And then-
No, they were probably
Administratively, you mean? Obviously, I think it got the credit card number and the expiration date and the name all together in a. There was
And
like
then
a
what
but
did
the,
they fax it?
did the transaction happened?
Yeah, what
At what-
happened?
at
What
what
happened
point?
after you chunk?
Yeah, you chunk.
I don't know.
But no, nothing electronic happened.
That's what I'm
Nothing
wondering.
electronic
So, no,
happened.
it was electronic. So
Well,
I'm
you
wondering.
no, but
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Because remember, like when the power would go off at J.C. Penney, they'd be like, "Oh, our computers are down. We'll just chunk your card, and you can."
Yeah,
fucking,
so it was something that you would enter in later. So you whatever the receipt was,
Yeah,
you
maybe-
pair that up with
yeah,
the receipt,
maybe-
and that's why in this movie you saw
Oh,
them
he
do that
says
with the credit card.
stolen.
And then
Okay,
later he went through the Rolodex, found it, and then he ran the credit card. So it'd be
And
like
they
at the
said
end of the day,
stolen.
you run all the credit cards and you do all the transactions.
Right.
So that's at that point when he was running the credit card.
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We were just barely like I did some retail work when I was like 16. I was like barely young enough to like still be in the chunk phase where I got to actually run a couple credit cards when the power was down. For to chunk. And it was so tactile.
Yeah.
It was such and it made that sound.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was just like you paid for it. Paid.
And it's like-
these days it's like tap
Money
get outta
gone.
here.
And it's like you hand the credit card back to him, you're like, well, this just lost about a year of life.
I know. I know. And you just like abuse the card, I miss those days. Okay. Where are we going? Steak and cheddar?
Deep breath.
Steak and cheddar?
Sure.
Crispy buttery crust?
I was waiting for the crust,
Crispy
please.
buttery crust. Yeah.
We're going to always specify crust from now on.
Good.
Rob Schneider
We were missing that.
Rob Schneider, he gets a tip of gum.
Do you remember what kind of gum?
I do.
It was the kind of gum that only lasted for 5 chews until all the flavor was gone. Fruit Stripe.
Stripe.
Do you remember the commercials for fruit?
It had a zebra, didn't it?
Zebra.
They were the most like mushroomed out.
Yeah,
like
the colors were going
like,
everywhere.
Yep. Running off his back.
trippy as fuck. And you know what? I think fruit stripe gum like just recently went out of business. Like you can't get it anymore. It's gone.
I can't believe they lasted this long. Because man, I'll tell you what. You compare a piece of Fruit Stripe to a piece of like bubble yum. That bubble yum was
Double bubble.
way
Something.
better.
They sell bubble yum at the restaurant near my work. I still get it.
At a restaurant.
Still get it.
restaurant.
A restaurant.
At a restaurant.
This is a restaurant.
You go to a restaurant. you go to the restaurant. You order a bubble yum.
Beautiful. Get the watermelon bubble yum.
Perfection.
Oh, watermelon is.
Yeah.
I always wash my hands before I eat it.
Wash your hands at the restaurant.
Restaurant.
What are we on to next?
I feel like Ben was going to say something about his restaurant.
Well, no, it's about fruit stripe gum.
Oh,
Do you remember that they had tattoos on it and you would lick the...
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'd lick the paper and then stick it to you and then you'd get a tattoo. Of the thing on the fruit stripe gum.
A lot of nostalgic like items and toys and trinkets and foods from our youth in this episode. I like it.
Maybe that's why
A lot
I
of
love
product
this movie
placement.
so much.
So much product placement.
They just made a lot of
So
money
much.
from putting products in this film.
This is why I'm in advertising.
Might be right. Yeah.
Okay. I think I said steak and cheddar. We haven't done steak and cheddar yet.
We did steak and cheddar.
Oh
with the
no!
buttery
This is
crust.
Philly steak and cheese. Let's do Philly steak and cheese, and this one's gonna have. No, I don't. Let's just talk about this a little bit. It's got a seasoned crust. But what-
Seasoned crust
kind
is
of
always
seasoning?
better than non-seasoned.
But what are the? That's the question. Is it like turmeric?
What's the flavor in it? Is it Philly steak and cheese?
No, Philly steak and cheese.
So the
Both some
seasoning would be
oregano.
I can see that.
maybe.
No, maybe a little rosemary.
I would like a black pepper seasoned one.
Just black pepper,
Can you imagine a Philly steak and cheese with black pepper?
freshly
notes?
ground black pepper.
Maybe black and red pepper notes.
Do you want me to figure this out or do
My
you wanna-
mouth's watering.
Do you want to guess?
I'm pretty hungry.
I'd rather just guess.
Maybe just a sprinkling of thyme.
A little bit of time. Yeah, a little bit of time in there.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about for this?
What's in your little gurnal?
In the gurnal. Let's talk about that kind of that. I'm kind of confused. The old movie that he uses.
Oh, angels with even filthier souls.
Yes.
Right. Like, what? Yeah. So that was just like a
Fake movie.
fake movie they made.
Yeah, they just made it up for the movie. It
And
was good. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
My Tommy gun down.
it was just so stupid. Like that he would be able to. I don't know. I had a hard time like getting the realism there. That was probably one of the hardest parts of the movie for me to suspend my disbelief.
Well,
Where I was-
adjacent to that, what's terrible about that is how that is both played back on a Talkboy tiny little speaker and also played back on an
How
analog
loud
TV.
is this TV?
And they think there's actual gunshots happening.
Right.
And both times
whole
everyone
floor of
buys
the
it.
hotel.
There's no way that's going to be the case. Now, at least in Home Alone, he not only uses big speakers to play it back, but then he uses firecrackers in a pot to simulate the guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But how are they going to retcon that into this? So then they've just got to, the speaker does it. Lazy.
He did have fireworks. He could have made it,
I know, right? He did. He bought them.
He had a backpack
He went to
full of
Chinatown right when he got there.
guys, it's time. It's time for chicken bacon ranch.
Chugga Bugga Ranch.
With the ranch blasted crust. We go ranch blasted here. And
Ranch blasted.
I want to talk 90s limos.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Anybody ride in a 90s limo?
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
They all
With my-
had like a little trashy LED light strip. They kind of went around. They all had like a 9-inch TV
Yep.
and a little shitty
And a
mini
little
fridge.
phone.
Yeah, a little phone.
With the
a rotary dial.
the wing,
Not
the
quite.
wing,
Well, it depends on when in the 90s.
with the wing antenna on the trunk.
Oh yeah, those. Are
Oh
great.
yeah, right.
Yep.
So yeah,
Little
when were you guys in a 90s limo? What was going on?
We had won something with my little league team. We had won something, and we got to go to McDonald's. Our destination was a McDonald's
Beautiful.
restaurant. In our limousine, and we all piled in there, and we were like, oh, all the magic's kind of gone. But we boasted to our friends that we rode in a limo.
Nice.
And we actually called it a stretch limousine.
A stretch
I don't know if
limousine.
it really was stretch. I don't know what that even means. But
I I mean, they're all stretch. What are you talking about?
Grizz, you ever get in a 90s limo?
Yes. My 92-year-old German grandmother came home from
Just making it rain, buying limos.
So she
Perfect.
rode a limo for some odd reason from the airport from Germany one day, and then she had it for the afternoon.
Wait, she rode it from Germany?
No, from Germany all the way here to the US from the airport. And then when she got there, she still had it for so long. So we all got in it and took it for a ride.
When it arrived, did it had a $100 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figurine and a talk boy sitting there, and a $5,000 bill for
and
you,
a hot
rich
cheese
motherfucker?
pizza and a hot cheese pizza.
The hot cheese pizza and the Pepsi was the peak for me.
Excuse you, Coca-Cola.
Was it Coca-Cola?
Pepsi was cooler when you were a kid.
Pepsi was way cooler.
Pepsi was
They
way
had
cooler.
way bigger.
Pepsi was in the
cooler.
first one. Because Fuller
Pepsi
drank
was
a
in the
bunch
first
of
one.
Pepsi.
Yep. And then they switched to Coke.
And they switched to Coke. Interesting.
Bigger sponsor.
I didn't notice that.
So if you guys could have only one pizza topping, just one, what's it going to be?
Cheese?
Well, you get the cheese, man.
No.
You
In
get-
addition to the cheese? Okay.
You
I mean,
get
respect
extra
to the
cheese.
cheese.
You can get
Respect to the
extra
cheese.
cheese, I guess, but that's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
weird. But
I'm gonna
go-
I'm gonna go jalapeno for me.
damn,
Oh,
cheese and
interesting.
jalapeno?
that's
Dang.
fun.
That's a baller move.
Not even green pepper? Oh, man.
Jalapeno's better. I just like the spice.
Yeah, I get that.
Green
I'll go with
pepper's
this
good.
Specific place. The pepperoni from Donato's with the
Oh,
crispy pepperonis. Oh,
Yes, I'll agree.
Square cut.
Can I say
Agreed.
ricotta
Agreed.
cheese? Can I say ricotta cheese in addition to the cheese though? Because I would choose that over jalapeno.
Sure.
That is good.
Ricotta cheese is so good on a pizza.
Ben, what do you want?
I'm going to do the meatball sausage chunks. So like
Both?
Finely
specific-
ground or large?
large chunks, because I like the spice of the Italian seasonings
The sausage,
that are
yeah.
in
Yeah.
the sausage meatball.
Are we Pizza King guys here? Are we kids of the 90s in
Yeah.
Indiana?
Yeah.
No, I'm a
went
big
to-
Pizza King.
Did your
guy.
Pizza King have a train that delivered the
It
drinks?
did.
Yes.
Of course it did. Yeah.
Did yours have the Super Nintendo screwed into the table?
Yes.
You had to pay for it though.
It
Right.
went from an
Yeah.
NES
Right.
to an SNES, and then years later went to an N64.
Yeah.
Nick, what about you? What's your answer?
What are we talking about?
Favorite pizza topping? You asked it.
Pizza's got-
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. No, I agreed with Chris.
Oh, my bad. I missed that.
Perfect.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, Donato's pepperonis, amazing. Okay, let's go for a cheeseburger.
Wow.
Perfect.
I didn't even put that.
That was the right answer.
What happened there?
Apparently, I have a Telegram notification.
Did you just insert a thumb drive?
All right. Lot of people just running around after each other in this movie. A lot of just running around.
It's a big city. You got to run.
But there's
Yeah.
so much of just running and chasing and bumping, dodging.
So much running.
It gets
Yeah.
very fatiguing.
My favorite was when Cedric's in the hotel and he's by the door and he's getting ready to catch Kevin and he just goes like this and Kevin just ducks. And he
Slides
misses
through his legs.
him. No, that was the
That was the
that was the
yeah,
reception.
That was right before the
Yeah.
when Cedric gets violently concussed.
Yeah. A lot of chasing. What about the slide scene when Kevin slides underneath the legs of the receptionist?
I mean, that was a callback to the beginning, and I was fine with that. Those kind of callbacks are great. You know, in in the Home Alone, he slid through the cop's legs
Yeah,
onto
yeah.
the ice,
Yep.
which would make more sense as to how he kept sliding. And this one, he slid.
He gained
and
speed and
somehow
just
he
kept going.
gained speed on like a threshold to an elevator
Into
I
a
don't know.
carpeted elevator.
Yeah.
Brian, this one's for you. Jalapeno steak and cheese.
Ooh, jalapeno. Give
My,
it to me.
my favorite quote of the film, Joe Pesci. I should have just shot him. What a different film this would have been. What a different film if he would have just blasted Kevin.
If he would have shot him
Like 45
well,
minutes in.
Yeah.
Like, where does this film go from there?
I mean, yeah, it would have been totally different.
I think that's why I love Joe Pesci's character even more in this film, is because he fits in. Like it feels like he's a New Yorker, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I also feel like the fact that they didn't do that points out that, yeah, they're these burglars, yada, yada. They're not terrible people. I mean,
They're not murderers.
I mean, they're
yeah.
not murderers. Even,
they're burglars,
Even in
yeah.
the first one, when they finally get him, they're like, we're going to bite off one of his fingers one by one or whatever they're going to do, you know? And you're like, whoa. First of all, they're not threatening to kill him. And second of all, they're really only doing to him what he already did to them.
True.
So, you know, I don't know. But since we're talking about favorite quotes, can I read my favorite quote?
Yes, please.
There.
I love when when there's the whole montage where he's scared of New York and everything kind of scares
Oh,
him.
this is exactly where I was going next.
Were
This
you?
is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
And you know, there's the crazy people on the road and everything.
Yeah.
And he gets in the cab and he's like, finally, he's like, oh, you know, I'm in this safe cab. And he goes, man, it's crazy out there. And that guy with like the one eye turns around the cabbie and he goes, ain't much better in here, kid. It's just so great. So I love it.
Brian, this was the next Hot Pocket. It was going to be a big and bold double pepperoni pizza with herb blasted crust.
Okay.
And I was just going to say, Kevin walks around New York at night, and it's just nothing but crackheads and hookers. That's all it is. Is that 90s New York for you?
This movie really
beautiful.
showed the hot and cold of this city, the beautiful architecture, the gorgeous hotels, and then it just shows the absolute disgusting
Craziness.
grunge of the nightlife. Like, it's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, I think probably the late 80s, early 90s, New York was a bit rougher than it is these days. Because I think I saw 2 homeless people for an entire week. Brooklyn, Manhattan,
you were just there.
Chinatown, Little Italy, Midtown, we didn't go downtown, but subways, saw 2 crazy people, 2 crazies on the subway, and maybe 2 homeless people, but that's it. It was pretty clean. But I do understand that this was a totally different time in New York.
Yeah.
So we're going to go Italian style meatball and mozzarella with the herb blasted, obviously. We're going to talk Pigeon Lady. We've talked a little bit of Pigeon Lady. I'm going to regret this title. So the Pigeon Lady, okay, just track with me here. So we've got a middle-aged woman inviting a 10-year-old boy back to her ramshackle apartment to talk about love. And then I just wrote, what?
Again, I agree with Brian here. She could have been completely removed from this film.
Yeah.
And
That scene was the main reason.
And her apartment above like the opera house.
Was that her apartment, or did she just find an attic?
I think she lived
just an
there.
attic.
Because it was all like music
that's
instruments.
$7,500 a month. I mean,
Yeah, that's in Manhattan,
minimum.
right on Park Avenue.
Right.
Yeah.
With the beautiful view of the orchestra.
yeah, that was quite a spot.
I don't think that's her apartment.
I can see a world in which she wasn't in the movie. John Hughes didn't write her in, and then the studio went, where's the character that's the one that bonds with the old person who bonds with... Where's the old man from the first one?
Where's the Redeemer?
And they were like, all right, let's fucking find
It's
somebody.
Some old lady that gets shit on by birds.
It looks like Pierce Morgan.
Radagast
Looks like
Brown.
Pierce Morgan. Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be barbecue beef, just with just standard crust. Standard. Normal. This movie is so fucking Christmas. Like, I don't know of a movie actually that's more Christmas than this movie.
I do.
What?
Home Alone.
Yeah. It's pretty much the only other one.
And I'm not taking away from that this movie is very Christmas, and I love how
You think
Christmas this
Home Alone
movie
1
is.
is more Christmas?
But if there's one movie that edges this out, it's barely Home Alone.
I haven't seen it in a while, so I
mean, that
believe you.
house. I mean, look at the wallpaper. Look
But
at the
this movie,
bedspreads and
every scene is fucking Christmas, man. Like,
Same
just
with Home
to
Alone.
the max. Yeah,
Same with Home Alone. But again, yes, and I love that. I love like Duncan's Toy Chest is like a heaven. Yeah. It's so beautiful, it's so atmospheric. I just want in
down
New York
to the cash register.
Again,
Look at the cash register.
Having been in New York just now, New York during Christmas time is so Christmassy, like just in general. And so this is accurate to what it feels like to be in New York
during Christmas.
during Christmas season. Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah, Marv.
Oh yeah, that was this scene too, where they're stealing all the ones out of the. Where they're stealing $314.
So I did this.
Did not benefit much.
Exterior of Duncan's Toy Chest it's all based off of FAO Schwartz in New York City, but the exteriors of this were in Chicago.
Yeah,
so they
not-
dressed
not
the
a
whole
real-
thing, and
not a real place.
it's wild.
Real quick, can we talk about this scene? We're looking at the scene where Kevin's busting them
can't wait.
in Duncan's Toy Chest, and he puts a seesaw board on an empty tin trash can.
Yeah, a 2x4. A 2x4.
In the physics of this, Nick, give me a flavor. Nick,
It's
give
a
me a
2x12,
flavor.
but okay, whatever.
This will be a bacon, egg, and cheese with the croissant.
Give me a bacon, egg, and cheese with croissant. We have a fulcrum underneath a seesaw. Kevin throws the brick through the window. Joe Pesci runs out, and he not only does he land perfectly on the seesaw, but he notices the contraption that he's on. And in his mind, he thinks, boy, if Harry runs out and jumps on the other side of this, I'm going to supernaturally fly 30 feet in the air. So he does all that
Smash into this
processing,
Toyota Corolla.
turns around and looks at Harry and goes, no, stop, no. Instead of just fucking walking forward one step. All that happens, and he doesn't do that. Marv lands, or is it Marv? Harry. Marv lands on the other side of this, and instead of crushing this flimsy little trash can, it launches him 30 feet in the air. This is absolute,
Onto a car.
utter unphysically accurate Looney Tunes hijinks to make stupid kids laugh at its finest.
I'm sorry,
can
Ben
I-
and I are laughing.
Yeah, I'm
it's
laughing.
fucking awesome.
Can I compliment this with a ranch blast?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
please.
please ranch
So
blast
as
this.
soon as he hits the hood like he did there, I had to rewind it like 3 or 4 times. I swear he says "what the fuck." He goes "what the fuck."
Oh,
All right, so
Like he says "what the fuck."
Yeah, I'm sure he
just
probably
says
does.
it. He
Yeah.
just does.
so on
He's Joe Pesci. I mean,
He's Joe
every
Pesci.
other
He can
movie
say
he's
fuck
saying
in a
what the
PG
fuck. Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Who cares?
So yeah, the Oscar winner. So Pesci apparently, I guess, said the F word multiple times in filming of this, and they had to find a word for him in the first film. So they find something for him. So he came up with frigifragia, whatever, and he just kept saying weird words to make up for saying the F word so many times.
I just like
Thanks,
a world where Joe Pesci says "fuck" a lot. Anyways, yes.
I want to add on to that the Polaroid that he took
Shooting into the glass.
shooting into glass.
Yeah.
The flash alone would just like blind it. And you just get like a really shitty reflection of whatever it was that Kevin was doing. And he takes 2 photos.
2. Why did he get 2?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was not
I would
great.
love to see if the first one was just a big reflection of him and a giant bright spot on glass.
So guys, I have a real treat for you tonight.
Do we have a little mini game again?
No games. We don't play games.
Oh, not today.
We're going to talk about some historical and discontinued flavors.
Oh boy.
He's getting verklempt.
It's a lot. Yeah. It just makes me emotional. It does. We're going to start with, you know, there was a predecessor to the Hot Pocket. It was called the Tasty Witch.
I get that.
why that's no longer.
Well,
Okay.
it's a thing.
Okay.
And so we're going to talk
That's
about
a
this.
tasty witch.
Tasty witch.
Hot Pocket, much better name. Well, tell us about the Tasty Witch.
So predecessor, you got to work your way up to Hot Pocket. This is a predecessor. So the Tasty Witch. I want to talk about Kevin's throwing arm and the superb and impeccable aim he's got with those bricks. He gets 4 headshots in a
perfect
row
shots in a row. Yeah.
From what?
on
6
Daniel
stories
Stern.
up?
Holy shit! Get this guy a major league contract.
Yeah.
This guy can throw a brick. That's your Tasty Witch.
It's one of my favorite scenes.
Okay. A lean pocket. We remember lean pockets. I don't think they make lean pockets anymore.
They shouldn't.
Well, it's because they tasted like shit. And Hot Pocket, we love you. And we know that everything you do, everything you touch turns to gold. Except for the lean pockets, which were kind of gross. So, but that's why you don't make lean pockets
A
anymore.
lean pocket was good if you'd never had a Hot Pocket, but once you had the Hot Pocket, you couldn't go back to the lean pocket.
It was
Correct.
good if you were like larger and you're trying to cut back and you're trying to cut your sodium.
I couldn't imagine that's where they cut back.
It's like, but look, it's like I'm going to make a change this year. We're going lean pocket
Lean
instead of
pocket.
Hot Pocket.
We got to go hard into the high caloric intake.
God bless them. What are we doing? Lean pockets. What was the flavor? I don't know. What was even a flavor? Like a
Broccoli.
It was
Broccoli.
it was probably all chicken.
Just broccoli and shit.
Wet chicken.
Yeah, wet chicken.
Wet chicken lean pocket.
Okay, let's talk about the whole kind of like traps at the house, like aunt and uncle's house, right? And it's kind of like this weird, like that was it lacked all of the charm from the first movie.
absolutely.
Like, because first of all, it wasn't his house.
Wasn't his house. Why was
So
he
it's
there?
like, who gives a shit about defending it?
Yeah.
It's just some random place that you've kind of like coaxed the bad guys to following you to.
Beautiful.
It's just so fucking stupid.
And talking about the whole Christmas feel of the movie, the first one felt so good because he was in this cozy, beautiful, perfect Christmas home with a Christmas
right.
tree.
It was like sacred.
Christmas
And it was like
decorations.
you're violating this
and then he goes
sacred-
to this decrepit,
Right. Who
like
gives a
cold,
shit?
dusty brownstone.
Exactly.
Which, don't get me wrong, I would love to live there. I mean, but like, it's not a Christmas location. There's nothing Christmas here. It's just a brownstone where he just and not to mention, he completely destroys his uncle
just
aunt's
ruins it.
brownstone, and they don't even talk about that.
Yeah, ruins it. I mean, that's hundreds
It's
of
terrible.
thousands.
It is heinous.
Yeah, and then
absolutely
he's also
terrible.
using the props from the Christmas ornaments and stuff like that in the first one. This one just felt like he was literally trying to kill these men.
He just kills them with chemicals, electricity, and falling objects. It's
Is it bad that I like that part?
I mean, I love how dark it is. Weirdly.
Like
I don't know.
I love how weird it is.
Ben, I'm getting real close to the point where I'm going to need you to actually start backing up. Like you're saying you can say you like something all you want, but we're not there yet.
Like
there yet.
I like the. I don't know.
Exactly. That's my point.
He just makes us giggle.
No, I'm kidding.
He just
I'm
makes
kidding.
us giggle.
I totally.
I don't
get
want
it.
to talk too much because then
And
I gotta cut
I'm
it
being
all
kind of
out.
I'm being kind of mean right now, and I'm sorry. I'm just doing that for a listener, but I will say there were a whole bunch of sequels after this, and I think compared to those, this was like Godfather. So I know that it can get a lot worse than this. So I will say that.
How about, here's another predecessor. How about the Hot Pie Express? You guys ever have a Hot Pie Express?
No.
No, but that sounds really good.
I know, it kind of does. I kind of want a hot pie.
Hot pie.
Are those
Express.
apple and cherry pies you get at the gas station?
No, this is a hot
This is
pie
hot. Those are
predecessor.
room temperature. We're talking
You gotta
hot.
warm them up. It says on the back.
Oh, I never did that.
Dude,
I just ate it immediately.
20 seconds in the microwave.
I bought it and ate it immediately.
I mean, so did I. But
Oh,
it
okay.
says on the back you should put them in the
Okay, I
microwave
didn't
for
read the back.
recommended
I
use.
never read the back.
This isn't even really a new hot pie, but we're moving on. It's a Hot Pie Express. We're going to keep talking about that same scene a little bit more, though. First of all, I want to point out that the Wet Bandits, if nothing else, they've got a great chin. Like, they can take a hit.
Yeah, they sure can.
Like, man, these guys, someone sign them up for some boxing. I mean, I feel like these guys can take a shot.
I will say in the first. Sorry to
do you
cut
mean
you
the
off.
Sticky
but,
Bandits?
Well, yeah.
What did I say?
Well, the Wet Bandits.
Oh, they were
Sticky
but they
Bandits,
were
yeah.
the Wet Bandits.
I will
Sorry,
say that
yes.
I think in the first movie, yes, I'm not saying the first movie is completely realistic. I know a lot of the things that happened to them would like injure you, but I will say that I think all of it was in the realm of possibility. I think all of it was basically just falling and like burning themselves, and then he was burnt. And then, like, you would see the ramification. This one, shit happens to them, and they're just fine. It's Looney Tunes. It's the kind of
It's
shit that
very
happens in
Looney
Looney
Tunes.
Tunes, where
Well,
where Wile E. Coyote is like he's
So
like
I'm
bent
glad-
into a square, and then like 3 scenes later he's just back because the movie makes no. I mean,
So that is one thing. Once you get into the house segment, this is one huge difference that I saw between the first and the second one is like these guys played it up. I think the bandits were they were super funny in this. I think it was just hilarious. But the weirdest part was the sound effects, like in this film versus the first, because the first was just typical sound effects, falling, landing, hitting, whatever. And then this one, like you could hear like when he slips or he falls, you can hear like zoop and like punk
yeah,
and like
yeah.
weird
Yeah, all the
noises on
Foley,
top
yeah.
of. And that I mean, yes, their physical comedy and their acting I thought it was awesome in this and the first one. But that stuff really just irks me to no end.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why would you add that? They're already doing an unbelievable job.
well, because they had to go bigger and badder and
I know,
crazier.
yeah.
That's
Well,
unfortunate.
like the
problem.
wrench sounds hitting him in the face, like all that stuff was just over the top.
I'm going to tack one more thing onto the scene. What are we in? A Hot Pie Express right now.
Express.
We've got
keyword.
this 10-year-old child rappelling off a 3-story building like a Navy fucking SEAL. Like, that was like, I couldn't do that if my life depended on it. And yet you have...
Give yourself some credit. I think you could do that.
I think you could do.
Yeah, I think you could do
Well,
that.
you know why
Three-
that, but you know
I
why
don't
that's in that. You know that scene had to be in here, right? You know why? Because in the first one, there's a rope and he goes out to the treehouse,
Oh,
and so
yeah,
they have
sure,
to do
sure.
that.
I didn't really
They
notice that.
hamstring themselves with being a carbon copy.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, you're right.
Can I get a real quick?
Guys, quit ruining my movie.
That's what we're here to do.
I'd be remiss if I did
I'm
not.
still going to watch it every Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. I think one of my favorite scenes in Home Alone is when they have been getting physically destroyed for 20 minutes, right? And it's just like hilarious, right? And then how do you top that? You get to a point where they get psychologically destroyed, and that's like a new level of horror. And what I mean is when Marv, which one's Daniel Stern, Marv or Harry?
Marv.
Marv. When Marv gets the fucking tarantula dropped on his face, he lets out a scream that is order of magnitude better than any other scream he's let out in the entire movie. And you buy it 100%, because if that happened to you, you'd make the same scream. It's one of the best moments of the movie, right? They tried to do that here. And it was when, we haven't gotten there yet, but it's when, they've been getting their asses kicked. All these things have happened to them. And then the pigeon lady calls forth pigeons, and the pigeons are pecking at them. And then he lets out the exact same scream as the tarantula, and it was a direct homage to that, but it was completely unearned.
To be
And
fair, I think he was getting shit all over, but they didn't want to show that because it's a PG movie.
The bird actually literally went in his
I do
mouth.
that.
during the shot.
tarantula on your face versus a bunch of birds flying around you.
I'll take the tarantula.
Yeah, I'll
That's
take the
tarantula's
tarantula.
way scarier. The tarantula would cause somebody
No,
to scream.
I mean, I don't like birds.
Yeah, plus they're pooping. They're making you
Yeah,
sick.
so
the tarantula's
gross.
not going to make you
Comment
sick.
down below if you'd rather have a tarantula crawl on your face or a bunch of birds fly around you.
on your
Team
mouth.
Tarantula.
Continue.
And that's
Next,
a real scene
Team
that they were
Tarantula.
covered with real bird food, and those were
The
hundreds
tarantula
of
would be
birds.
fun. But it's not going to hurt you. Climb on you a
gross.
little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not
Birds are pooping on it.
I'm
There's
not.
like
I'm not asking you to explain why the tarantula is scary. What I'm asking you to explain is why the pigeons are scarier than being electrocuted and have bricks thrown at you and fall down holes. I just feel like the escalation and the pacing of the first one, they get to the top of the stairs and that's what meets them. That's like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense
very
from a
good.
stakes
Yes, I
perspective.
agree.
In this one, the stakes just don't get high enough, and they get to a point where there's pigeons, and not to mention the pigeons are flying around him for 10 seconds, and he doesn't let it's not like he lets the scream out immediately when the pigeons come.
Sure.
It's like they're
But-
like, all right,
but
he's
that's
got
'cause
to
he's realizing,
he's
but-
got to yell his soprano note just like he
But
does in
he's-
the first one. Everybody, so here, let's just do it here. It's stupid.
It's because he has a lot of head trauma.
He is
Also
very
true.
concussed.
Sure.
He is so concussed by the end of this.
So, did you guys know that Hot Pockets made a sub?
No.
Okay.
Did they just cut it open and manufacturing so it looked like a sub?
I've never seen it. This is alleged.
Okay.
AI has told me this.
AI.
So we all know AI is full of fallacies.
A little bit.
But this one I choose to believe. I choose to believe that the Hot Pocket sub is real. I'm just going to let that sit. I hated that Kevin's major misstep after he's whacked the shit out of these guys for 30 minutes or whatever. And then he just slips on some ice and then he's caught. Come on.
Lazy
writing. My
The winter weather
goodness.
got him.
All right, hour 45. Well, we got to have Kevin get caught. Slip on ice.
Let's just have him slip. This little genius. Like, what the fuck?
He's still just a kid, okay, guys? He's still just a kid.
Wait, that's your hang up?
Did you guys know that Hot Pockets made calzones? What do you want in your calzone? Your Hot Pocket calzone. You can have whatever you want in it.
Oh, it's got a red sauce and meatballs and mozzarella in my calzone. Mm-hmm. I would like it to be herb blasted as well.
Or blasted
Herb
for
blasted.
sure.
I'd like it ranch blasted.
I'd like
and
it
I'd like it
both.
with the croissant crust.
Croissant for sure.
Why is Kevin praying to a Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center at the end?
I think he's talking to his mom.
Well, he's
Yeah.
praying to a tree, I feel.
Yeah. Well, and then his mom also kind of continues that sort of religious or praying aspect when she looks up. She goes, "Thank you."
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
like they
almost
just like
they're-
brought God
they're
into it,
appealing
like
to the
out of
God
like
of Christmas.
like out of nowhere. It's like there hasn't been any like spiritual stuff.
Well, the
happening
problem
this
is
whole
that
movie.
the problem is there's no home in Home Alone, and the original one, home is where she comes, and they have that sentimental moment. He looks out the window, sees his neighbor, has his children come. It's a feel good moment. There's no home here, so they go to
No.
Rockefeller Plaza, and it's like they're just trying to recreate
It's
it.
like they tried to push in this family moment and this Hallmark moment, and it just did not work.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
get it.
Kevin loves Christmas and he loves Santa and like
Yeah, he
all
kept
of the
saying
things.
throughout the whole
And
movie,
so she's
yeah.
like, where is he going to go in New York when he's scared? He's going to go to the Christmas tree. Where's the largest Christmas tree? It's in Rockefeller Center. So it's essentially like a plot point for him to be moving towards a place where she knows he'll be.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So
And I guess it would make sense that, you say praying to a Christmas tree, but Santa Claus is real when you're that age.
I don't know if he's
And
praying. I think he's
probably
making that
nobody
wish.
is
He's like
appealing-
asking. He
he's
is like
probably
I think he was
talking.
making
Yeah.
a wish.
Yeah,
Like,
he's kind of wishing to Santa Claus
No,
to
he was-
Christmas and everything.
No,
you
it's
know?
like
and it
when he
makes
had the
sense. It makes
conversation
sense
with
to
him.
me.
It felt like a prayer to me.
Yeah, well,
No, it makes
whatever.
total sense.
he's
yeah.
literally making a wish because he talked to the homeless lady about, what's something I can do, and I think he,
Yeah.
I
I think
he was
prayer
trying to
and
make-
wish can
Yeah.
overlap.
Yep.
especially with
Yep.
the turtle doves and like Duncan's toy chest. And he's like, he's involved in the
sure.
lore.
the war.
Did you guys know that Hot Pocket made a panini?
Man, what does Hot Pocket not
Does
mean?
it have the grill marks on it? You think?
Probably.
I haven't had one.
Like they're
But I'd
painted
like
on, not
to.
actually grilled.
No. This is a premium Hot Pocket we're talking about. It's been pre-grilled by Hot Pocket at the Hot Pocket factory.
Hot Pocket.
That's right. It's a premium product. Here's where I thought there was a big miss in this movie, and I'm curious what you guys think about this. The whole sort of quote unquote fun and games portion of this movie, kind of the part of the movie where he's got the credit card, he can kind of do whatever he wants. He's clowning around in the hotel room, he's eating cookies, he's ordering pizza, he's getting room service. I just felt like that could have been they just missed 10 minutes of fun they could have had with that kind of part of the movie. Like he could have had a lot more fun buying shit, doing goofy stuff, being provocative, being this goofy 10-year-old kid. And it just was kind of like ended up with like ordering pizza and cookies and kind of sitting on the bed for a minute. And that was that. I just thought that could have been the fun part of the movie.
And then waving at a sick kid in a hospital.
Yeah, right. It was just weird. Like that to me is like the part where we should have been having lots of fun. You got a 10-year-old kid with a fucking bottomless pit of money with a credit card. He should be wiling out at the steakhouses. He should be going to Scores. You know, he should be having fun, man.
More scenes of him in the limo and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just, that was where the fun was, and they just didn't really exploit that, which I didn't like.
Well, they had to get to the violence.
Yeah, it's a violent film. Okay, guys, this is going to be the last Hot Pocket I have. And this is really kind of a shocker here. Do you guys know that Hot Pockets, okay, they made a breakfast Hot Pocket with fruit pastries inside.
No.
Ooh.
And I'm talking, guys, I'm talking apple crisp. I'm talking raspberry. I'm talking peach crunch. Whoa. I don't even know what to say. A Hot Pocket breakfast confection. That's all I need to make my life complete. I don't think they're around right now.
But the recipes exist
The
somewhere.
recipe is out
they're
there.
They're in a drawer of an armoire somewhere.
Somewhere. And for this very, very special Hot Pocket breakfast fruit pastry, I want to talk about nostalgia and how I remembered this film, because I hadn't seen this film in a long fucking time. We're talking decades, like a long fucking time. And there were a couple things in this movie that were just like, I guess I kind of misremembered. And here's what they were. One was the whole sort of Toy Story part. I thought there was like way more of it. I thought he was in the toy store more. I thought he was like better friends with the toy store owner. For some reason, like I thought that was like a big sort of B story. And that like barely had, and then the whole robbing of the toy store, it was all very brief.
Very minimal screen time. You're right.
Very minimal. And for some reason, I thought that was like a lot of the film was like him kind of befriending this toy store owner. And like, cause then they had that remember he like buys him all the stuff at the end, like the family, all the stuff at the end. Yeah. And I felt like that was like really earned.
Seemed like there was more hijinks like after the store was closed at night for some reason in my memory.
Yeah, like more, I don't know. Like it just, I misremembered that. I also, like, I'm not even joking here. I literally thought like Trump had like a little bit of a part in this movie beyond like one line. I thought he was like in a couple scenes, or like, because I just explicitly remembered him being in this movie.
I don't, because when I was a kid and I watched this, I didn't know who Donald Trump was. So when he asked that guy where the lobby was and that guy answered, I had no clue that was Donald Trump until 2 years ago when I watched this.
That's one of the only things I remembered about this movie, which just made me think, because it was just one passing line, which I guess just made me think he was like actually like kind of in the cast, like part of the movie. But no, he's like a fucking on screen for 2 seconds. But yeah, so that was misremembered by me, I guess. So anyways, this movie was just, it had been such a long time since I'd seen it. And it just was a different movie than I remember, which was just kind of weird. So yeah, that's your Hot Pocket breakfast fruit pastry. And we're going to go raspberry. I think it's like a raspberry.
Sure, raspberry seems good.
Yeah, raspberry's good. You guys have any other Hot Pockets for tonight?
What you got, Brian? Let me look at my notes.
Oh, I think I covered everything. I did have one. There were no black people in the entire movie until like that one cop at the very end, which was a little bit surprising to me. Yeah, I don't normally notice that or care about that, but for this movie to be in New York and for there to be so many extras and so many people on the street and everything, just like no black people, like
just
wow, like
whitewashed
just give
New
me
York.
one, you know?
Yeah, that and I didn't notice that, but now that you say that, that is like
wild,
weird.
Yeah,
that is really weird.
Yeah, interesting.
And then all I had was at the end, Kevin runs away from his family who's just found him. So it ends with him being re-lost in New York again.
It's powerful.
Very minor Hot Pocket. It's like you just like lick the Hot Pocket, the outer shell.
Just a little sprinkling of Ranch Blast.
Yeah. Just a whiff of a Hot Pocket with that one.
Yeah. Closing thoughts on this film? I'll start. Yeah, I didn't think this movie was very good. But it's only 1 point less than Reagan. So, not a disaster. And I had some fun with it, but I felt like a phrase we bring up often on this podcast is of the time. I felt this movie felt very of the time. A lot of it was just the product placement, the incessant product placement. My God.
So much.
So I think this movie is like probably could still be kind of fun for kids, I guess. Like I might recommend it for kids, maybe, even though Kevin's like such kind of an evil shit. But yeah, there's a little bit of enjoyment to be had, but not a great movie, not a great sequel. Original Home Alone is a classic. This movie is middling. That's what I got.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I disagree with a lot of that. I mean, this is a movie I'll watch every year at Christmas time. I mean, it's super rewatchable. I'm finding new things every time I watch it, like little tiny details and funny things in the background and the things they say and like the connections from first, second, third act. I think it all like is just super enjoyable, and I still laugh at it. The physical comedy with Marv and Harry is just so good. And then I love the secondary bad guys in this one versus the first. There's no secondary bad guys. So they had to have the bellhop and the hotel manager and like the front desk guy, like the bellboy or whatever. Like that was awesome. I thought they could have just made them even more part. And then they could have used Duncan as like the old man that's teaching a lesson. They could have just completely scrapped the pigeon lady and used him as that lesson learning.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot from the room, from the people who liked this movie about how much they enjoyed it and how much they rewatch it, but not really anything about why it's a good movie. I'll say why it's a bad movie is that it did nothing new with the characters, no new arcs, no new themes. The spark that made the original was gone. The home, defending the home, Christmas time. The character motivations and behaviors didn't make any sense. We've been through that. People did shit that didn't make any sense. The plot and coincidences were way too absurd. I mean, you unplug one outlet, one alarm clock goes off, the entire house. I mean, there's so many things like that. The premise was super forced because they had to pigeonhole themselves into the exact same story beats. So yeah, I think the movie was a cash grab, 100%. It made a lot of money. They made 10 sequels afterwards, and it suffers from typical sequel issues with it being nothing new and then losing the spark. So just not a well-made movie. I will say, though, that I did enjoy watching it. I will watch it again, and I will enjoy it 100%.
See?
Yeah.
See what? That has nothing to do with how good of a movie it is.
It's a great movie.
We're
Great
talking
movie,
about
guys.
how
Great
good
movie.
the movie is. We're not
10
talking
out of
about
10.
how much you enjoyed it.
10 out of 10.
All I'm hearing is 10 out of 10.
That's all I heard at the end.
Brian, I like it. We're
Good for
kind
you.
of on the same page tonight. I appreciate that. It's been a while. I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like.
been a long
I feel
while.
like it
really has been a while.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling it.
I like it. We're back.
And we're back. All right. Thank you for listening. If you're still with us, you're a saint. And we're going to do another episode. We always do. We always threaten.
Yes.
We always threaten to do another one. And this time we're going to do Fast and the fucking Furious Tokyo fucking Drift.
Tokyo Drift!
And we are hyped. We are hyped. Pew, pew.
Give us a real
Give us a wha-pow.
Give us something, Ben. I see your fingers. We'll take it.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see some fast cars.
Jiminy
Yes.
Christmas.
I'm so excited for this.
Jiminy Christmas. Okay. We're going to do that.
I can't wait to see old boy from Home Improvement. Oldest brother Brad is in it.
Yeah.
Brad is in it.
Yes.
You know who else is in it? Lil Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow.
Oh,
Lil
I think
Bow
he's
Wow.
just Bow Wow now.
Oh boy.
He's not Lil anymore.
Nah, he's
No,
not
he's
Lil.
not.
We might
Just-
do 2 shots of Jepsen Muller.
just
before
Bow
the
Wow.
episode.
Bro.
All right. We're going to do that, and we're going to see you next time.
See ya.